send an email there. Again, you should have already received that, but send an email to stakeholder services at russellcenter.org. That's your kind of support center email, lifeline, if you want to almost anything. And just let them know we didn't get your easy invite yet. But I will say this, so it doesn't come from Russell Center, it comes from easy. So check your spam just in case, because it may have gone to spam. And it didn't come from a Russell Center email. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
I got one, but I'm having trouble.
Get into the door.
Well, no. I can't. Well,
Man.
and so I hold it open until waiting. I did try to.
Got you. So if you could see Fred,
Oh,
after the session's over,
got
I'll figure out what that.
okay.
You said the email is from Kisi, K-I-S-I. Yep, so K-I-S-I is the name of the app. Check your spam just in case. It didn't come from russellcenter.org. It would come straight from the platform. I didn't. Here, grab Shalon, please. This got the end of it. Any other questions? That said, as we continue to kind of evolve and to move forward, we have some new updates with our program that we're going to share. Again, if you're new, it's going to be new to you. So it's the only thing you will think, again, if you've been here before. All right, Shalon, we're ready for you. All right, this is Shalon Brown, our Director of Community. And there's a lot that happens, and there's our spiritual things going on here as well as communication. I think you would have heard from her at our info session also. So Shalon, the floor is yours.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm so glad to see you all here. Raise your hand if you're a new stakeholder. Okay, and everybody else is just saying, hey, Michael. Yes, I just called you out. So I'm going to be brief because we do have a mixture of people in the room. This is really just a part of it anyway for the existing stakeholders. So in my role, like Paul said, just for everyone, again, as a refresher, outside of like the stakeholder experience, like the internal and external communications that you all see, it's also funneled through myself and my colleague Nicole. So we'll talk about that a little bit later as far as the expectations with communications. But again, this part of it is just the logistics of being a stakeholder. Well, I'll just keep talking. So for optics, everyone in here should know that we use optics, which is an app. If you are a new stakeholder, you should have gotten an email from the Russell Innovation Center for Entrepreneurs. Again, asking you to create your username and password with optics. That is how you make payments. That is also how you look through it. For existing stakeholders, because we are bringing on more stakeholders, obviously more people will be in the space. So before we're saying, hey, pop your head in, which is still the case. If there's a room in here that you see you need to go into, that's totally fine. But again, because more people are going to be in the building, I recommend that if you know for sure, hey, I need 2 hours of meeting space, that you go in the app and look your room. Okay.
I have a question about booking and how far in advance do I need to cancel before I get charged for the stay?
Oh, you can cancel right before if you want to charge. But if it does, obviously.
Okay, yeah, because it has charged. Okay, okay.
So it's automatically, as soon as you click book, it's going to add it to your invoice. But as far as it being drafted from your account, we don't charge until the 5th of every month. So before then, just make sure that, hey, Shalon, I didn't use this room, and I'll take it off of you.
Okay, got it.
Okay?
Okay.
So what email address is that?
So stakeholder services at russellcenter.org. Okay? And I'm in that email. My colleague Fred is in the email. One of us will respond to you through that particular email. And we'll take care of everything for you. So I said all that to say, again, I cannot stress this enough for existing stakeholders. I know before we were like, hey, go in when you need to. But if you're here a lot, you know you're meeting a lot. Again, we literally just brought on about 70 plus people. That means it's almost 200 of you guys now. It's going to be more people in the space. So I need to book your rooms, okay? The cancellation piece, if you all, for whatever reason, I know that's nobody in this room, but you can cancel at any time. Just send an email to Stakeholder Services and we'll take care of it. It can also be canceled because of payment. So after 30 days, staff accountant team will send you something just letting you know that, hey, your account needs to be brought up to date. But this go round, after 6 days, we are making sure that this time, if you are behind, we're gonna have to remove you from our system. That means you wouldn't have access to the buildings or easy. That means that you wouldn't have access to the programming, you wouldn't have access to our learning management system. You're still welcome to community events. You can start the membership over again whenever you so choose. But after 60 days, if we do not receive payment, we will hunker down on that and we'll have to remove it, okay? So that's for existing people and for new. All right, Fred, next slide, please. Yes.
On the, how do you change how do you put a request in to change?
How do you do what now? I can barely hear you.
I said, how do you put a request in, send a request to, Stakeholder?
To
change the card.
Change the card. Oh, so you have the option to change your card on your own. So when you go in Optics, on the payment side, you should be able to remove your card from there and then add a new card. Under payment, yep. But if you're having trouble, just see me afterwards and I can help you with that. Okay? All right, so again, if you spread new stakeholders, the app that you will need is Easy in Optics. You should have gotten an email asking you to create your username and password. For existing people, you should already have that as well. For new stakeholders, again, you've got this in your packet. Once we welcome you, it just literally walks you through how to set up your credit card, how to remove a card as you just mentioned, how to look at your invoices and book rooms. For those that selected a dedicated desk, you will note that I sent this out saying that we at this time do not have any more dedicated desks. For existing stakeholders, if you already have your desk, that's fine. We do not have office space. I want to reiterate that as well too. I know a lot of you see the offices downstairs, things coming online. Those offices are reserved for our in-house partners, i.e. Invest Atlanta, AWBI, ACE. There's a list of them that goes on and so forth. Then there are offices on the first floor, which are our Paysetter offices again. All right, so those are the only stakeholder offices, but again, they're reserved for the Paysetter companies that we select. Okay. All right. Again, I just talked about booking space. Everybody clear on that part? Great. This is for everybody. This is something that is fairly new. This is in stakeholder. So parking, you will need a decal permit to park in the space. Parking does not belong to us. Now, stakeholders are free. As long as you have that decal and the permit in the window, you're good to go. However, if you have a guest after 7 p.m., it's $10 for your guest on the weekdays and $20 for them on the weekend. Now, obviously, we're right by the stadium. There's games, soccer, football, basketball, a lot of stuff going on here. Again, the parking slot does not belong to us. So on the weekends, stakeholders are good to go, but this price is subject to change on the weekends depending on the event. So if you have a guest and you're like, hey, I'm parking over here, come park over here too, it's possible they could be paying $35 or more to park in the parking space. I just want everybody to know that. We will give you a decal if you do not have one. That's for existing and new stakeholders. One decal. After that, if you lose it, there will be a fee for it, okay?
I have a partner. She's okay too.
Or is she under your account?
We're together, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so she'll get one. Yes.
I have more than one card. It's like a decal.
Well, take the decal in and out the car. How many cars you got?
Got cards.
Oh, we can give you decal. That is it. I give you a decal for every car. All right, and then your guest policy, again, this is for existing and new stakeholders. This year, going into next year, we are also making sure that we enforce this as well too. So lot of people invite people here, totally fine, but you must be with your guests at all times. They have to check in with registration. You are responsible for going downstairs to meet your guests and escorting them to wherever you are in the space. Did not see people, and for the most part, it's 17 people on staff, so we know our stakeholder faces. We don't want to see people roaming throughout the building. Background check because of the level of access that we're giving you all. So again, to protect our stakeholders, protect our team, we don't just want, anyone in and off the streets, walking around, roaming around. So again, please make sure that you escort your guests downstairs to whatever meeting space that you are in the Russell Center. And that's it. Yes.
So we do a lot of events. We do a lot of events here at that, like, which go past 7 p.m. So will our guests have to pay that parking?
Yes, they will. So there's a QR code at the registration desk. They're gonna have to pay for that. Now, get with me and Marlon, depending on how many events are recurring, I guess we can possibly work something out, but again, that's like a case by case basis. But as of now, that's okay. Any questions, comments, concerns? Yes.
As far as the parking, is overnight parking available as well?
No. I think that's what Russ said. Yeah, there is no overnight parking. Yeah.
Overnight work.
All night for the next day.
We're entrepreneurs. Who ain't done it all night? I mean, I pulled a few. I probably will.
All right. Let me check with our parking attendant about that. Check on that. Yeah. Also, it's but he's saying that it's for if you left your car here overnight versus you see.
Oh, yeah, I would be,
Okay. I saw another hand. Good. Hey, honey. All right. We're good. I'll come back up and talk about the communications after call.
I think that with overnight, it might be, hey, thanks free parking, go to the airport and be out of town for about a week. Leave my car here. Take part of that. I think that's right. But we'll confirm that from that standpoint. All right. So we're gonna meet the team. I know someone may be in or out of the room right now. I think you met Nicole at the front desk. I'm the program institute program manager with our development stage. Fred Jones, right over here. He's with our Inspire stage of business. That's our first stage, and the second stage. We're actually in the process of going to be rehiring a program manager for the execute stage. So that person not present at the moment. And Paul Mayberry, who will be here in a moment, so he was at an earlier event, is with our accelerate stage. And with our innovation solutions lab, which actually we're going to be taking a little tour down to the other side of the parking lot in a little bit, kind of see what's happening with our fulfillment center, our UPS store, and some of the new projects that are coming online very, very soon. So you're going to get to see that, and you'll actually hear from Gary also. So those are our current program team members, and our team is growing. So that by the time we do this again, that image will have changed based on the jobs we actually have available out now. So if you all know anybody who's skilled, he has nonprofit experience, program management experience, looking. So let me know. Yes, sir.
Are you all accepting interns?
We've had interns in the past, and so we're open to it. Just a matter of what their skill set might be, and if you know some folks who you can plug in somewhere, definitely send them over. We're definitely looking to supplement our staff. That thing. Absolutely. All right, so when we talk about big ideas, I'm gonna talk about the curriculum. I know we did share some things in the info session about our curriculum, about how we approach this. And we say this, so for us, curriculum, big ideas is more than a curriculum. It's more than a curriculum. We don't have a rice curriculum that we can just give you a manual and line for line. It's information like that. Our approach has been basically to identify within each stage what's critical and important for businesses at that stage of your life cycle, right? And we identify the objectives that we believe is important that you need to know. And again, this didn't come out of our own minds. It comes from all types of research and entrepreneurial organizations and even other incubators across the country, right, to help us kind of form this structure that we've designed here. So when somebody asks, well, what is the right curriculum? Like I said, there's no document I can give you. But what we've done is basically said at each stage of that life cycle of business, we're going to help you learn what we believe are the most essential things for you to learn. And then what we have done is go find the experts to teach that content, right? So none of the right staff actually teaches anything, right? We go basically find subject matter experts in all these different areas that we're going to cover, and I'm going to show you. And basically, we kind of plug them in. So that you're hearing from some of the best minds, right? From those with track records of success, right? We don't go find people who theoretically done a good job. We find people who actually have track records of success. So again, our goal is that you're learning and hearing from the best of the best, right? Within different industries and different topics. Make sense? Right. So that's what so part of when we say it's more than curriculum, that's the part of. The other part of it is the experience and the pathway that we're walking you through. And so those of you existing stakeholders, some of this is actually going to be a little new for you all, because again, we continue to refine this process. So we have what we call catalyst sessions, right? And so you're going to get a schedule of this. These actually will start the week of October the 17th. So what our catalyst sessions are our big sessions, right? Remember college seminar sessions, right? Not necessarily seminar, but like big room. In this case, whether it's live or online, within your entire stage group. So these are broken out by stage. So this is the Inspire Catalyst, the Develop Catalyst session, Execute, and so on and so forth. And the purpose of these really are big concepts, right? As it relates to, again, some of the topics that you're going to be learning, big concepts, big ideas, and just really help you understand how those particular aspects relate to your business. So basically, in this next learning cycle, it's going to be 4, which is basically 1 per month. So from October, November, December, January, February, because our next learning cycle then will kick off in the spring after we bring on a whole nother group of stakeholders, right? So our process is that we do that intake twice a year, and then these learning cycles kind of mirror, right, that calendar. So we have one calendar session a month. The second part of that, which literally is going to change in terms of that name. Let me just hear the industry that you're in. Just kind of call it out. Real estate. Wellness. Professional development. Tech. Customer service. Sustainable energy. Fashion. Absolutely. Right. Keyboarding. So we've identified, and you all build that information out actually when you submitted your application. It's basically 13 different categories that you had opportunity to check off from that standpoint. What we have done with those 13 is actually condensed it down to about 6. And what these, right there, you see them through the PATH group. That PATH stands for Peer Accountability Team Huddle. Don't tweak that name, but the purpose of that group is actually industry-based. Whereas the large catalyst sessions are by stage, the PATH group is basically by industry. And the goal of those groups actually are not about content, it's about connecting. And it's about learning not only from one another, but what we've also going to have done with those 6 is basically go find an industry expert that will be more like a group coach. Whereas the catalyst, somewhat of a coach, but more so giving you content, that the PATH groups are focused on really accountability, ideation, implementation, execution, right, and peer accountability. But you're also being led again by an industry expert. Does that make sense? So you're going to be, in that case, be across state. So it could be somebody with a brand new startup, somebody else that may be running a $1 million business, right? Because there's still a lot to be learned within an industry, right? So we got so number 1 is by stage, and 2 is by catalyst, industry group from that standpoint. And again, you'll be meeting within your industry groups. Then number 3 are learning labs, which really go across every stage, and it can be topics or information, right, that any stage, any industry can benefit from. And those will be on a from that standpoint. Like the other 2 from a calendar standpoint may move around a little bit. We're trying to keep that consistent. And you'll get this information. But the learning labs, right now we have it scheduled pretty much every 3rd Friday at 10 a.m. Right? Those are will be like hybrid sessions. Right? So you'd be either here or be able to be online for those sessions. Again, those topics can cover almost any, electrical vehicle, be financial, it could be marketing, it could be IP, right? So things that can cover all industries and all stages, and you have opportunity again to learn from industry experts from that standpoint. Does that make sense? Right. So these are what I call our different learning modes. We got large groups by stage. We have smaller groups by industry. Learning labs to cover everybody from that standpoint. Yes. You'll get a calendar next week on Monday. Right. So we have the only reason we had to send out, we got a couple of, again, as you can imagine, we deal with some very busy people, so we're locking down their calendar schedule. So we're just finalizing a couple things. So the learning labs will be every third Friday of the month. So again, once a month, but every third Friday. And again, you'll have a calendar for those. And some of those sessions even include our partners, such as MasterCard and some of our financial partners. So those will be very diverse topics. But again, that'll be laid out. You'll see what that is. But that will be every third Friday at 10 a.m. Of every month. Yes.
And the existing stakeholders go through the path again, or will we get those emails and we just?
Yes. So you'll be invited. This is will be invited. And again, and some of it you've already been through, right? And that's a good point. So now, but I'll mention this and let you know how we've changed. So previously, our catalyst session, because there were 5 or 6 weeks, literally were 5 to 6 weeks in a row. Right? We literally went through the whole thing in a row, right? Our stakeholder listened. We're like, that's great information, was too fast, right? And there's no time to implement on a weekly basis. That's why now we say, you know what? So we're going to take what was 5 weeks literally in a row, make it once per month over a matter of 5 months. So now there's an opportunity to hear it, absorb it, and now with the other engagement opportunities, right, you can actually hopefully begin to implement during that month. And then by the time you get to that next month, right now you're ready for that next big concept, big idea. Does that make sense? So that is one of the major changes that we made since the last couple of times that we've run this, right? I hear you. Thank you. Thumbs up. There you go. Any other questions about this? And so you will get a calendar with a schedule with all the dates on it. And again, that being finalized even as we speak. Yes, sir. Follow step 5 or step 5. Good question. So he's asking, going through this process, does that automatically move you to the next stage? Simple answer is no. Right? Because here's a couple things we're looking at. So one is that's the first step to participate. And although we know you're all adults, right? You all have your own calendars, own lives, right? You're making your own decisions. But we don't like to use words like mandatory or required. You will very rarely ever hear us do that unless it is something we actually have to do from a mandatory standpoint. Like you strongly suggested, strongly recommended that you attend. And not just to show up, right? We don't want to do stuff for business. So the people that are coming to teach, our goal is to get them to teach stuff you can literally implement, not just fill up your head with knowledge, right? But also that plays into your participating, because our goal is that your business is growing. So we actually measure business performance on about every 6 month basis. So the information that you provided initially, you'll be getting another survey around about the time we're about to go through that next cycle. It actually updates your business, some of your business information, not all of it, but just certain key things such as revenues, employment, other things that are critical. Because our goal is to demonstrate, did your business grow? Not just did you attend the class, but move you to the next stage, right? So, and this gets a little, sometimes I'll just say this, massage some egos sometimes. But you may come in at the same stage as other people, and then we go through that process of evaluating your business, and others move and you don't. You're like, well, what's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with me. Nothing at all. Different industry, different timing. It could even be time in your life where some people had this more time to invest in their business than you did, and the results didn't happen, right? So everybody does not move at the same time. That's the other reason why we don't use the term cohort very much, right? Because typically in a cohort, everybody comes in, spends the same amount of time, and they move on and leave at the same exact time. Ours doesn't work like that. That's why I use the term same stage, different journey, right? Same stage, different life cycle experience of your business. And our goal is not to hold you back. We're trying to push you forward, but also they use this analogy. If you're in the third grade and you didn't learn how to read, when you get to fourth, fifth, or sixth, now you don't know how to read to learn. Right? If you don't get the foundational pieces, how do you build on something that you didn't actually lay the first time around? That's why our goal is, again, not to hold anybody back and say you're better than everybody else. No, because we don't like the word competition between businesses within here. We're all cooperating together, right? From that standpoint. So yes, and we're still tweaking and modifying what that looks like because again, just theoretically, right? Let's say somebody's in a current stage right now, and we get to the spring, and it's like I'm in the same stage, right? So what do I do with all this learning that I learned the first time? Well, it could be that you missed some of the sessions, so you get to repeat. And I don't say repeat, learn again, right? Some of the sessions that you may have missed, right? That's one opportunity. The other thing is too, and this kind of jumps to the learning lab or passing the learning lab. Since there's no content in those sessions, and it's all about, right, iron sharpening iron and wrestling with those concepts, a path group meeting in November may look completely different than what was discussed in April, right? Time has changed, industry's moved on, right? So even though you're in the same stage, your experience can be totally different in the spring than it may be right now. Does that make sense? Right? So our goal again is that you're improving the business and that you're developing that business, and as we measure performance, right, that now we're able to shift into the next stage. Our goal is too, because that's also how we're measured, right? So we think about our donors, think about other external stakeholders. We're promising them that we're helping businesses grow, not that we're growing membership, right? So when we report data for what Russell Center is doing, we're talking about did we help you all create more jobs? Did we help you all grow your revenue? Right? Did we help you all do some of those hard metrics, right, from that standpoint? So yes, we're reporting, yeah, it's great, we got 200 businesses. But the next question is, well, how did you help those businesses and how can you prove that you helped those businesses? Right? So that's how we're being measured and evaluated. So that's why we're not just moving people along through a process without them demonstrating, you all demonstrating, right, that your business is actually being impacted and improved. Does that make sense? Okay. So I just want to take a little time to explain that. Like I said, we're different in that way than a lot of other programs where it's just about getting you in, getting you out, and they just check the box. Hey, we trained 15,000 people, right? We have no idea how those people may have even improved their business. Does that make sense? Yes.
I understand that there's no set curriculum that like is there perhaps though a checklist for each stage that's in order so that as people are thinking about how do I move to the next stage, and I know bottom line dollars matter, employees matter, but what are the inputs that help the business get there? So like your business model canvas or your business, like all those types of things. Are there a set of tools that we should be completing throughout each stage to help us understand how we are progressing through the business education?
My notes. You read my notes. Yes and yes. So actually, there is a syllabus. That's what's going to be. You absolutely will have a syllabus with your entire schedule, right, for these next 4 months. So you will get that. That's like those are those dates that we're just confirming with our speakers who may have had some shifting. So we're just blocking that in. The second thing is the checklist. So yes, you will see with the by stage what's going to be taught, and see if you be able to kind of go down. Because some of you, again, we've had conversations, a couple of you actually in a different stage, and that could be possible. But the thing is, with that checklist, it could be that you checked off 8 out of the 10 things for that stage, and now you're focused on the last 2, right? Or it's 2 out of 10, right? From that standpoint. So yes and yes to both of your questions. There is a syllabus with dates. You'll get that, as well as there's the checklist by stage of the things we're looking at accomplishing, helping you see your own progress in that thing. That's a great question. And then the number 4 here is one-on-one consulting, right? So we got large group, we got small group, we got one-on-one. And we'll talk about that in another slide. But basically, again, the things that are great for large group, small group, but one-on-one, you have some very acute specific needs for your business. So our goal is to curate experts, right, that can also work with you on your individual challenges, issues, and opportunities. Does that make sense? Right? So all this is a part of, right, your value package, if you will, right, for being a stakeholder. That's why we also encourage people, strongly encourage you to use everything that's available to you, right? Because again, if you're not growing, we'd like to at least hope that we did everything we could to help, right, from that standpoint, right? So take advantage of every single thing. And if I didn't say it earlier, we didn't say it earlier, y'all paying $100 a month, right? But everything I'm talking about right now is included in your $100 a month. But why not take advantage of it, right? When it's literally being, prepared for you, right? From that standpoint. All right, and then we like to have fun. That's number 5. We like to have fun to network. So a lot of times we'll have external organizations that are hosting networking event. So we'll tell you, I can give you this date right here. It'll come out by email by October 19th. Right, the next opportunity for this. So Taylor English. So this actually connects 4 and 5. So Taylor English law firm. You got that email? Right. Great. So that's a great example. Right. Really combining 4 and 5. So Taylor English is going to be providing pro bono consulting hours to your business that you can register for. I know you need it now. You already got connected. If you didn't, Fred, we'll make sure we answer it. Yes. Legal one-on-one consulting for your business. That's one type of consulting. But on the 19th, basically, they're going to be here on site. You actually get to meet again some of their lawyers and some of their partners from that standpoint. And again, we have different organizational partners who sometimes will host events. So I think we like to have fun. It's also a great network opportunity, especially when we partner with our partners to have those types of events. All right. And again, and sometimes those pop up from time to time. Sometimes we have long-term notice, other times we don't, just depending on what's going on. All right. So again, so just like that's what watch your email and watch what's coming out. Because sometimes like things that will be coming rapid fire. But again, our goal is not to overwhelm with just stuff to do. Hopefully things are going to be effective. All right. So not to spend a whole lot of time here, but this just kind of refreshes a little bit of what I said earlier. As you're moving through the stages, so this also goes back to the question about the checklist. So we don't use the word competency, we like readiness indicators. It goes, how do we get you ready for the first opportunity or the next opportunity? First customer or that next customer? First financial conversation or your next financial conversation, right? So that's relevant no matter what stage you're in. But for every stage, again, hopefully this helps those who are like, hey, I'm not the right stage. So for every stage, we use the same readiness indicator in terms of from a category, but you can imagine it ramps up, right, from stage to stage to stage. So we're talking about financial acumen, right? For an Aspire stage business, that's a different conversation than someone in Scale or Accelerate who are dealing with multi-million-dollar government contracts, right? And or need financing, right, to finance one of those multi-million-dollar contracts, right? So it's still financial acumen, but we ramp it up based on the stage as people are going through, right? So we also don't want people to feel like they're missing out on anything, right, based on that stage, okay? All right. So I just want to highlight these gentlemen, and so these are the Catalyst leads. Just give you a little bit of an update. So Inspire and Jared McNair, again, Jared McNair runs the organization, helped tens of thousands of small businesses over the last 10, 15 years in terms of a lot of the events that they've hosted. He's great at, if you just have an idea or a thought, him giving like immediate feedback, because he's been in so many different spaces from real estate to venture investments and all types of business ventures. He's incredible, again, just giving you ideas or helping you flesh out your ideas. Those in the Inspire stage, again, JR is going to be your catalyst. Again, he's going to be leading those 4 sessions. Evan Rokowski, as you see, he's a little bit of a pale complexion. But we love Evan. He's actually from New York, but he's going to be flying down once a month to do his sessions here in person. So it'll be the first time we've done that before he did it virtually. But Evan has you all heard Evan in info, so I don't have to go over his resume. But again, he's launched and sold at least 2 healthcare companies, right? So he's strong in healthcare IT space, really business development overall, and he's really right, running his 3rd or 4th company right now. Dr. Berkeley Baker from Georgia State also talked at ATTC. His expertise is in customer discovery, customer development. For our execute people, right, the focus is on how do you now grow your customer base more strategically, with a little bit more sophistication. We went and found a guy that's his expertise, right, from that standpoint. And then Chris Hank launched multiple and helped develop multiple entrepreneurship centers from UGA, Georgia State, Kennesaw, right? So very strong and passionate about entrepreneurs and growing entrepreneurs. And he really has a teacher's heart. So you'll hear when you're in there, and engaging with him for our accelerated thing, right? Any questions? All right, I'm not going to go through all this. That's going to be some more. All right, but this is all stuff you can buy. This goes back to some of the checklist stuff, right? from that standpoint, not just want to like say bog it down in the weeds and the details right now. Like we can send an email to follow up. Actually, there are a couple of dates on here. Yeah, I would. So for the Inspire date, can you get this by email? I want to show you this. I think this might change, but just at least give you an idea. So October 19th, November 7th, January 11th, and February 8th are the 4 dates for Inspire. And then for Develop, October 20th, January 11th, November 9th, January 11th, February 8th. And this is on by email. I'm currently the Execute program lead, but that will change right in the future. Again, October 19th, November 16th, January 11th, February 8th. And Celebrate October 21st, 10th, January 12th. So one of the things that you'll notice in some of the times that we've done, and this is what we've learned, but also y'all can inform us too. So a lot of the sessions for the earlier stage businesses are typically in the evening. What we've heard, and this group may be different, is that oftentimes people in that trial development stage are either still working or part-time at a job and running their business. We try to accommodate that and put, again, most of the sessions that for the earlier stage Inspire Development, some Execute later in the evenings. And again, with feedback that any of you who are running your business may have a little bit more control of your schedule during the day. A lot of the later stage businesses, the sessions are during the day. All right. Now, again, as we go along, you all give us feedback and say this is working or not working. Again, we can take it and tweak that some, but just as a general rule of thumb, that's how we kind of approach the times of the day that we set these sessions up. Make sense?
Yes, sir. Are you committed to attend event outside of your slotted? Or you're in a certain stage, right? Are you committed to attend something outside of that event or?
It may be space permitting, right? Most sessions again are going to be in person. We don't ever say what you can't go do, like unless there's something that really say you can't. So I'm not going to. The answer is yes, you can attend other sessions. But what we don't want to happen is that you're attending your non-state sessions and you're not attending your state sessions, right? We are taking attendance and we take attendance one to make sure that we're tracking along and people are actually responding right to the content that we're presenting. But also it allows us to track from accountability standpoint. But also it allows us to track from, because we do have grant opportunities and more of those actually coming. We're typically not a funder, right? And you all know that we're not a funder. However, we do sometimes have partners who say we want to fund a grant through the Russell Center. Right, so they'll provide a specific amount of money and they'll set up the rule. Like last year it was JV and Consultant. A specific amount of money, it was for a specific number of entrepreneurs, and then we set up an entire application process. So every dollar they donated was a dollar we flowed right through us, right straight to the entrepreneur within the structure of that. Well, part of that criteria, right, we have to set up to say, well, who's engaged and who's not, in addition to what's happening with their business, right? So we do take attendance. And then hopefully we'll have more partners in the future where we'll have more of those funding opportunities. So we look at attendance and things like that. So the answer is yes, you can attend other stuff, but not as a substitute, right, for what's happening in your own state. Right. And that's also, again, to reiterate, with the path group and the one-on-one, you can still get access to other resources that you need, right, from that standpoint. That's a good question. Shakira in the room, she is. All right, so Shakira Demessier. This is really about our one-on-one consulting resources. I mentioned Taylor English, but another of our relationships is actually Fraser and Dieter accounting firm. So that's other than more pro bono hours that you can set up one-on-one, right? Now they're not going to do your bookkeeping. I'm going to go ahead and say that, right? They're not going to do your bookkeeping. They're not going to do your QuickBooks for you, right? But when you have accounting issues or challenges, or you get ready to apply for that loan, you need somebody to look at your P&L. You're trying to set up your initial P&L. Right, those are some of the things and services and resources. So whereas Taylor English there's going to be a submission process, so that way they want to give information. What happens is you fill out the form, you send it to Taylor English, they're going to find the right lawyer for you, right, based on the information you provide. So you're not going to get a general, you're going to get a specialist. Okay, Fraser Dieter, they're actually going to have office hours in the building. I believe it's gonna be every third Tuesday. Again, you'll get this, but every third Tuesday where you can just literally drop in. In those cases, you may not even have to need an appointment. And then the other session, so they're gonna have two sessions that are available, one in person, one that's virtual. The virtual one, you probably have to schedule that time, but it's the same block of time every month. So you'll know when you can arrange that, right? So again, and we're looking at, again, adding other partners in the future too, in addition to those technical assistance providers, right? That's on that bottom. On the top row, we again have other curated relationships. So one is Shakira. I'm gonna actually have her come up and talk in a moment. And this is actually with Shakira and our relationship with G-Man and the SBA allows now also to offer free consulting service to the external public. Because before we weren't doing anything, if you weren't a stakeholder, you couldn't get any help. You come to certain events, but you couldn't get any one-on-one help. Now we have the opportunity to be able to do that, which is really neat for us. And now hopefully I'm trying to duplicate Shakira so I can get a few more like her, right? That can offer that resource, right? Because she's helping inspire, but also external. For develop, we are part of Chronology. I'm not sure if anyone knows who's French or her organization, but she has a team of consultants and very skilled in small business development. And again, this will be another one-on-one opportunity. And again, it'll be a scheduling process, right? So you'll submit your information, you get plugged in with the right type of consultant from her team, you'll get that one-on-one help. All right. And then anybody familiar with the Small Business Development Center? All right, you've heard of it. So these are MBA level individuals who business consultants, their full-time job. And so you could actually, without the Russell Center, walk into an ESBDC right now and get help. However, what we're trying to make sure is that they are doing right by you when you walk in there, right? So we're setting up a little bit more of a direct referral feedback loop process, in particular with Morehouse and Georgia State, two offices there. So that way you get in and you get treated right because you say, I'm here from Rice, right? They should treat you right anyway, but sometimes stuff happens, right? So yeah, so again, these are MBA level individuals who, again, business consultants, their full-time job. And the great thing about the SBDC is it's a lifetime relationship that's free, right? So you're taxed, it's not free because your tax dollars are paying for this service. So it's prepaid. So, yeah, whether you use it or not, exactly, you've already paid for it. But they have a team. So there's 18 centers throughout the state, if you didn't know. About 40 to 50 consultants who are in all different areas of expertise. So when you go to one office, you actually then, remember those old Verizon commercials, right, where guys on a cell phone, we had a whole network behind them? That's kind of like SBDC is, based on what your expertise or what your need is, because that individual consultant, then if as you start the relationship with that person, if your need is outside of their expertise, they just go find the other consultant in the state and pull them into your process. So you don't have to go find them. Also, you don't have to worry about having 5 different consultants, but you'll have a lead consultant. They're the one that's managing and coordinating your relationship with those other consultants on an as-needed basis. All right, so you really have access to almost 40 to 50 different types of experts, maybe not all different types, but different experts in all different types of industries, right, for what your business will need. Right, now let's say, even if you're not inspiring development, as I said, you literally could walk off the street. Anybody can go at any point in time, right, and get help from SBDC. But one thing about SBDC is, and that's why I said the accountability side, to make sure that they're doing what they're doing, they prefer, and I'll just say this out loud, they prefer to work with later stage business. That's why no matter who walks in, telling you were right, we're gonna hold them accountable to treat you right, all right? Because their preference is later stage. However, they can help anybody in that sense, right? Just tell them Paul sent you over there, and if they don't treat you right, don't handle it. All right. All right. Any questions about this? So again, and some of the other resources that we're bringing online, I know there's more tech companies that are coming, right? And I know there's even some businesses here that may be in a later stage where you're in tech, you may be about to launch a product. So we're even bringing on people who are product experts, people who specialize in technology, right? Because sometimes technology doesn't quite fit in certain stages, right, just based on where you are, right? So we're recognizing that. Because in the past, right, from a technology standpoint, we often said, well, we don't really help tech companies, but go over there, see somebody else, Georgia Tech, whoever, and they come back to us for the community. We don't want to keep saying that, right? We want to have our own tech resources, which that's growing. So if you're a tech company, we can help you here just as well as you can go anywhere else and get help. Oh, Shakira. Yep, I'll bring you up here.
Oh,
Come on up.
okay.
All right, this is Shakira Demessier, our technical assistant program manager.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Real-time help right there.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sharon Messier. I'm the technical assistant program manager. This is for a program called NAVGA. The community navigator.
It's connected to the QR code.
To the QR code. Okay, great. The community navigator program that is run by GMEN, sponsored by SBA, which means there's no cost to you at all, ever. My area of expertise is in marketing planning and strategy. I've worked in that field for about a decade with and so that's what I'm here to help you with. However, if you have any questions about your business plan, if you just want to drop in and all over a business idea, my office hours are 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Mondays. You don't need an appointment, just drop in. I'm in the Capitol Corridor, which is on the second floor, all the way to the back. It is not an office, it is a conference room. Put my name's on it, so you'll know where it is. What else? I do want to stress, though, for all of your needs, your first course of action is speaking with your program manager. Talk to them first, whether that's Fred, either Paul, whatever stage you're in. Yes, oh yes, you. So because I think you, in order to really assess what your true need is, right? Because there may be another avenue that they think. But again, at any time you want to just drop in, hi, good morning. If you want to just drop in on a Monday between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m., I will be there. So do that. That's also okay. Is that it?
You got one there.
My favorite color is blue.
I talking about the other thing you did.
No.
Okay, I won't.
You gonna tell us, Paul?
You asked me not to.
No.
She's great, incredibly talented. And again, like I said, that's her area of expertise, but if there are other areas that's not, that she can't help you directly, like she's absolutely the connector, if you will, for resources. Again, our goal is to make it easy. One thing I will reiterate, here did say again, with those program managers, that is your first point of contact for anything that you need at the Russell Center. Right. So again, if you're inspired, it's Fred. If you're in development, it's Nicole. For now, if you're in execute, it's me. And if you're in accelerated, Paul. So again, if you don't know who to contact, start the program manager. They'll make sure you get to the right person with the right information, right, and the right resolution for what your situation is. Make sense? Yeah. All right. So I don't think it was up there, but I'll just tell you right now. I'll give you their email address. I know by heart. So Fred Jones, if you're inspired, Fred Jones. It's fjones@russellcenter.org. Real simple. fjones@russellcenter.org. Sorry, Fred. You got to keep blowing up. Nicole Brown in Brown@russellcenter.org. Real simple.
First of July.
Give you that home address too in a second. And then Paul Mayberry is P Mayberry@russellcenter.org.
Hey, if you guys are in Accelerate and you don't know my email address, let's talk before you leave. I live on getting to know you, so I don't want you to know my email address without knowing me. So let's talk.
Absolutely. This is a relationship organization, right? It's not just about, we don't want to be a face and a website and just, help out stuff. But once you have a direct connection. Good? All right. So again, you'll get together to learn. All right. This is one of the things I'm super excited about. We're doing a lot of things we're excited about, but this is one of the things that is really game changing. And I don't say that lightly compared to other organizations across the country. And I'm talking about whether they're white or black.
It's
In
amazing.
terms of, say it again.
It's amazing.
Absolutely. In terms of what this logistics launchpad is gonna be, I'm gonna invite Shakiri, up here to talk, as he's putting salt, syrup on his, napkin work? All right, you're good.
True love.
You ready to play with right now?
I'm off right where I wanted it to be. How y'all doing this morning? About the logistics launch pad. And now a few of you all have come down already. You all have already seen this page. Feel free to talk to those next to you about it, because until you physically are in it and you see it for yourself, a lot of this is just theory. But I want you to go down to the warehouse. It is still here.
We're gonna go together.
Well, we'll go together.
Walk over there together.
It just has another entrance, but it's still connected. So just know that everything that is there is also accessible for you as a resource. So what we basically set up is a warehouse that has 5,000 square feet that has 3 different functions inside. Now, normally a warehouse is just set up to hold inventory. But what we're trying to do is allow you all to ideate, create something, and then house it and distribute it all in the same place. So 5,000 square feet, 4,000 square feet of it is one side of the UPS store. So in that UPS store, all of your shipping and receiving can happen. You will get a UPS number for being a member of Rice, a stakeholder, and that gives you a discount code. So every time you ship and receive here, you get a discount as opposed to going to a normal UPS store on any corner. So secondly, across from the UPS store is a fulfillment center. It's by a company called Where to Go, W-A-R-E, the number 2, and then go. So Where to Go is a wholly owned UPS subsidiary, but what they do is they'll hold your inventory, and it acts just like Amazon, y'all. No one will ever know who you use for e-commerce shit. So let's say that, what's your name? Miss Joy, I love that name. You can't go wrong with a name like that. So let's say that Miss Joy comes to my website and she buys 15 widgets. From our center down here, we're going to send a confirmation to your customer, let them know we received the order. Once the order is picked and packed, so we'll let you know that it's been picked and packed, we'll send it over to the UPS side, ship it out, and they get tracking, just like if it was on Amazon. From that center right there, we can ship to 80% of the United States within 2 days. Okay, so they put the order in by 3 o'clock, we get those orders picked, packed, and shipped by 5 o'clock, and they'll be to your customers within 2 days. You have a front-end system where you can see everything. We have a back-end system where we can see everything. So that's all about picking, packing, and distribution. The other side is my favorite, my baby, is the innovation lab. So now we're talking about making prototypes, y'all. One side is going to be focused on 3D printing, where you can make any items that are like physical products, like wood items, plastic items, metal items, IoT-enabled devices. So think about your smartphone, think about a remote control car, those kinds of things. Things that have a device and have an app attached to it. You can 3D print those and prove the concept and ensure it works. The other side will be focused on textiles, so clothing, industrial fabrics, anything of that nature where you want to cut and sew, build a prototype, and then lastly, packaging. So what I've learned from living and working in China for 5 years and doing this kind of work for the last 10 years is the biggest challenge you have in building a prototype is learning how to ship it. How do you take a prototype and figure out your total shipping cost? And not just for one of them, but for a total case or for a whole container. So what we're setting up down there is very intentional because now you can take your prototype fully packaged over to the UPS store with your packaging around it and show how much is it going to cost me in a container to ship. How stackable is it? So I want you all to go down, enjoy the space. This is just the beginning. This is pilot phase. All of these things are growing, and we want you to use them so we can see how you need them. We also have a survey that I'm going to reach out to each one of you individually on, 9 questions, but it will help us understand how you can most efficiently use this space. So if you have any questions, I'll walk you all down here, we'll talk about it, but feel free to ask any questions and look out for the surveys.
Yeah, so you walk down there, and there's another project that's coming online. I won't take time right now. We'll talk about it when we get down there because it's gonna make even more sense. You actually see the space, and you haven't been able to see it yet. That Shakiri actually today later today and tomorrow, engage with Georgia Tech on getting that up and running for a grant that we are awarded. So again, when we talk about innovation, and we talk about shipping and receiving, we talk about supply chain. One thing I did talk about here is our supply chain accelerator, right? So what we launched this year in partnership with UPS and Disney and Target and King & Spalding Law Firm and Clorox, basically bringing them in as experts to teach our entrepreneurs about the supply chain process from the inside out, right? From the legal standpoint, from the marketing standpoint, from the procurement standpoint, right? And all those different aspects, but using these global leaders as the faculty for that supply chain accelerator program, right? So now we can be on this part of the building talking about it, and then we can go on the other side of the building and actually go do it. Yeah, I don't know too many other places in the world, again, whether it's white or black, that have that entire life cycle when we talk about supply chain going forward, right? And we're already planning for phase 2 of next year. And what's really cool about our partners, when we have partners, we're nonprofits, we like to get the check, right? But we want to get engagement along with the check. So for example, Disney, right, is one of our partners. You may ask, why with Disney? You don't have a presence in Georgia. But when we started talking about this, what they thought about and what they said pretty much was, we want a place, a business that we can send suppliers who aren't ready for us, send them to Rice, get them ready, and come back to us with and get contracts. That's my goal with our supply chain accelerator, is that's going to position you off a contract, legitimate contracts with these companies. Yes, sir.
I'm trying to process it all. That's good, but it's a lot. So
It's
like,
a lot.
you're saying it's a supply chain accelerator where they help you bring their product to, like your product to their store, kind of like.
That's one example. So retail is one example. Absolutely. That's why Target, right, is part of that. Teach us what it takes to get your product on the Target shelf. The Target was like one of the facilitators, literally walking us through their entire process. I love how, Jay likes to say it, show us where the hockey puck is going, right? And then we'll build a criteria to help you get there. That's what we're talking to those partners. Show us what your criteria is to become a successful supplier for those companies. And then we'll do the hard work, dirty work, if you will, to get you ready for that opportunity, right? So that's what the goal is, to bring those partners in. So Disney, I'll go back to Disney, for example, just one example. I talk about a lot of them. I'll talk about this, and this is really, really cool, right? So they came on board, they helped to fund it, the accelerator, providing expertise already. They have a Disney Leadership Institute, right, that they're making available, and it's private login for our stakeholders. This is what they only do for their employees. But they're giving our stakeholders access to their leadership content, right? Just one example. So we were in a meeting back in May, and we were sitting, it was actually all virtual. All the partners were on the floor. I did everybody. I made a joke at the end of that call, basically said, hey, but at our next meeting, we should do it down in Orlando. Everybody laughed. We signed off on the Zoom. Get a call about 5 minutes later from Disney. Well, y'all probably can't get the full Disney experience on the Zoom. Why don't we bring down about maybe a large group of your stakeholders to Orlando? We'll pay for it so they can see what happens behind the scenes at Disney. So November 15th and 16th, the companies who are in the supply chain accelerator, we're taking a trip down to Orlando, fully funded by Disney, to see how they operate behind the scenes, right? So Disney has already committed to us that they're going to participate next year. Like, we don't leave that trip off the schedule next year. We want that again too, right? But again, so when we think about supply chain, when we think about how we operate, right? We think about how we're going to continue to evolve that program. Again, our goal is, how do we put you all in the best position to succeed, right? From that standpoint. So this logistics launchpad is going to be, it is a continued extension of that, from that standpoint. Yes, sir.
Quick question, I don't mean to ask.
No, you good.
Well, I
No,
do
this is
mean
your
to
time to ask.
I
No,
don't
please,
mean to ask, but
please.
so the Disney Leadership Institute, November 15th and 16th, you already have like your accelerator companies or?
We do, yeah. So those who work for existing stakeholders who are already in the supply chain accelerator, which started back in May, right? So this will run through February for those companies who are in that. So then we're kicking off the next phase in the spring. So it'll be the next group of companies that will be part of the accelerator.
The second part of that question is, it's such an amazing experience. Like, who's capturing the media? Like, are they going to have somebody like capture?
We'll have a media team.
All right.
They capture the entire team.
All right.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I wanna see it even though I can't
We
go.
can't wait that opportunity, yo, absolutely, yes. We'll have a media team traveling with us, led by Shalon, and her, department that actually will be. Shalon does a lot. We're getting her some help, but she does a lot. But again, wrap your minds around. So let me split the two things. So that trip is not the Disney Institute. That's a whole separate thing,
Oh,
right? So that's a separate thing that's happening. And then in addition to that is this trip. Some of them may coincide, but really the Disney Institute is separate. But it's all part of our relationship overall.
this might be my last question. Do you think they'll do like licensing deals, like, for like some of their amazing, like? content?
That's what our relationship will help to explore, right? Because as we percolate up what the needs are of our stakeholders, what their capabilities are, right? What your qualifications are, maybe what some joint ventures in here can do, right? Some collaborations can do. Those are the kind of relationships that we're gonna have. So as a matter of fact, those are again currently in the accelerator. On October 20th, I think we're still in the accelerator now. We'll just run into February. October 20th, actually, the buyer from Disney will be here, right? Talking to our stakeholders about their process. That's what I said, when we talk about partnership, we talk about engagement, right? We bring their decision makers here to talk to our stakeholders, right? So that's part of the accelerator. They're next up on the calendar. They'll be here in October, and then we're going there in November. But then even in November, right, we'll be engaged with Human Spalding Law Firm to talk about the contractual side, right, of this relationship. Not the contractual side of procurement. In February is, in January is Clorox, right, talking about HR, right, because they have a very strong HR platform too in leadership development. And then in February, it's actually the UPS and Disney, and we're talking about international, global business operations, shipping and receiving, those kind of things, right? So every month it was a different theme. And again, and that's just kind of some of the upcoming engagement up from that standpoint. Yes.
You have another question?
No.
Gentlemen, yield this time.
Hey, everybody, my name is Erin. I'm in the Inspire stage, proudly so. So when I went to grad school, one of the things that always stood out to me, because I went to a PWI for grad, is that a lot of my classmates, like their parents had businesses in supply chain, but like with the least little thing. So like the cat thing that you open a Coke with, and they gazillionaires.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And so tops for the Clark's bottle. So in this process with logistics, because I'm interested in it for later,
Sure.
is the part of the ideation, will those types of situations be presented to us about what's possible that we could even take there? Because I think sometimes if you're not exposed to what you could really make money on, you don't know to get into that. And so that would be what I would be interested in, to kind of understand parts and pieces and how you can use that for supply chain.
Simple answer is yes. But I'm gonna wait till we get down there and let security really unpack that. I think the full answer to your question is answered even more fully, literally standing in that space down there. So the simple answer is yes. Now, security, I'll let you unpack that a whole lot more when we get down there. Great question. Any other questions? Right. So, Shalama, I actually invite you back up and just we'll basically begin to wrap up here.
Yes.
And then we're gonna go down there. And then we can come back here. Like I said, y'all don't have to leave. But we'll after we go down there, spend some time down there, and with this along the way, we'll come back here. I can answer your other questions. Y'all can finish eating, y'all can work, y'all can do whatever y'all want to do. But again, we want to kind of keep the ball rolling.
Yeah, so I'll be really quick. So we can get down to the launch pad, you can enjoy breakfast if you need to. This is just reiterating our process of communication. So I'm sure you guys have been getting the emails, text messages, the calendar invites. There's a lot of moving pieces. That's because we have a lot going on, but again, it's to serve you. And so I just want to reiterate so that you can stay in the know and stay engaged. Make sure that you are checking your emails. Make sure that you are looking at your text messages. We will send weekly emails, i.e., you get something from your account manager from the program team, specifically as it relates to your particular stage and big ideas. So that'll be more so, as far as the programming that you receive, your catalyst lead information, your pass through, that sort of information is going to be coming to you soon. So again, you'll get weekly details about that. But then there's a newsletter that will also come out, which pretty much recaps everything that we've done, any surveys, any events coming up. So again, just make sure that you're paying attention to those things. Bear with us, but we're just trying to make sure that you're as engaged as possible. There will be a lot of information, but I do encourage you when you see Russell Center, it's probably something important. So just open, okay? Text messages. You guys will probably be getting text messages the last couple of weeks about the meet and greet, orientation, things that are really important. Again, that's just another way for us to reach out to you guys. And then the stakeholder portal. So that is something that's going to be really important going forward. So everything about the Russell Center, from events to programs, any partner announcements will all be in that portal. So what we'll do is actually send you something. You'll be able to log in. Again, this will start in November, but the portal is your go-to from now on, starting in November, to learn anything about the Russell Center, okay? So there's a flyer, something you need to sign up for. It will all be in that portal. We are going to transition this for existing stakeholders from the calendar invites, okay? So I know you're, but to that end,
You gotta cut, you gotta clap over there.
right, no calendar invites. However, you will be able to add the event to your own calendar from the website, okay? It just won't come from us anymore. So that'll start in November, okay? So again, there's a lot of information, a lot of moving pieces. Again, it's just for your benefit at the end of the day. Yes.
Will the portal be an app?
Will it be an app? There won't be an app in November, but we'll get to it.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, I haven't checked my portal yet, but if I actually have a mailbox here, how do I get to access that?
So you mean like mailing service? So that's totally separate from the portal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so mailing services, so our receptionist will actually reach out to you, either Jasmine Smith or Aisha Hassan will reach out to you. So as long as mail is on your plan monthly, they'll reach out to you when we get mail. So there's not actually like a mailbox area right now. We'll just hold it for you. So, hey, we have mail for you. Stop by and get it. But that's totally separate from the portal. Any other questions? Yes. You said that was your last one?
No, about that topic.
You helping everybody out with your questions, though.
Oh, good. It's like, who's doing the app?
So our website team is also a Black-owned company as well, called Beatty Designs. They will handle all that for us. Are you interested in that as well, too, Sharon?
No. I might need their help, so that's how I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just see me after, and I'll make sure I connect. Sharon, everybody know your name by heart. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
There's so much good information, I'm just trying to process.
That's what we're here for. So, like I said, just bear with us again on the communications end. We're trying to make sure you guys get everything that you need. If though the text messages, they become too much, you can't opt out of that. So don't feel like, hey, I'm about to be bombarded with text messages. You have to, that's totally up to you. Yes, yeah.
Did you just say by the website help? I have, and immediately.
Well, okay, so in your stage, they will assist you with that, yes. So they'll be at your catalyst leads, that's something that you can connect with them on. As far as building a website, he's referring to the app and basically connecting with our website team, not necessarily. Yes, yes, so Fred, just let Fred know, and he'll be, thank you. Any other questions? So we checking our emails, yes? We're checking our text messages.
Yeah.
And we're going in that portal in November, okay? Stand by, stand back and stand by on that. All right.
Is there a Facebook group stakeholder?
You know, there was a Facebook group for stakeholders. We will bring it back. That's a lot.
It's still there.
It's still there. In full transparency, just haven't updated it in a while. But there's a Facebook page, and then there's a group under our page. Again, I need to clean it up from when we started in 2019. Yes.
On that note, will the portal be a place where we can connect and find each other?
Absolutely. So said all that to say too, there's a directory on there. So as soon as you log in, basically, it's gonna prompt you to fill out like your profile information. So one of it like is your personal profile information, and the other one is business profile information. Once you do that, it builds the directory for you. The goal is essentially have that front facing so that when people visit our website, they can see our stakeholders. Again, bear with us, that's all a process. But yes, the portal will be ready to go November. So you guys can connect. You can also do that right now, optic, if you just need to reach out to somebody. Everybody that's in our stakeholder database is on optics right now. All right, we're good to go. So we're going down to Launchpad.
So, but right before we did that, our CEO is in the room. But Jay, I don't know. Oh, he said no. All right, so let's take a trip. So, let's meet out in the hallway. I'm gonna take you around the, I'll follow me.
I'm in my warm here.
I'm
Feels great. It's so rich. Yeah. I mean, I'll have a little something on my shoulders, but at the end, his arm is gonna be out. Yeah. It's deep. Yeah. Okay. Oh. And I have so much travel in October, November too. So like one day I just got contract off and I got to how to make it home.
Thank you so much for that video. That was awesome. I think I'm gonna stick my email. I heard.
Getting accepted here.
Great space, so. I think it's a lot of synergy.
With that time for learning, building community.
I'm making my way down.
So I'm gonna back on the line.
Ashley, hey, how you doing? How good? Give me 2 seconds so I can properly. You gotta come down.
I just got it to the contract.
Down there.
Thank you. Apply for me, it's not for two. And I get to buy.
Yeah, well, I'm just giving it to you.
Okay.
Actually, open the front.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Stakeholder as well. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Okay, I'll see you.
Yeah. What's your thought on the turn? We don't have subprime, but we got.
So you're about to go down to the.
Yeah, and it's so interesting. I wanted to say, so it's so funny, my publisher did the book design and they sent me several designs and I didn't like it. And they were like, that's it. My launch, Kansas City at my business launch party. I'd like to, and I said, why don't we all do this? These are all the people I interviewed for the book. Yeah, family, friends, my Shiro, 2-time Angel Leon, 2-time breast cancer survivor, and at 54. So, work on books, like ideas. Is it worth that they allow you? So I take it you're not going down there.
I don't
Clean it all.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna post up. I gotta, knock out.
Same here. All right.
We about to give you a handshake?
Well, I was gonna give, it was gonna start here and then.
Oh, we gonna go in like that?
I am all taken care of and set up.
Good, I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
What time y'all go to this?
They said so well, but I think the end part is kind of how you.
I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of a I'm trying to do so many.
Keep the number out of your head, what percentage, you know, here's the fallacy that startups gonna run into. You start
So
giving
I
away
did
your
just send over, a draft to say that we have to have the contract being stated. So the lawyers will send the money to the law group.
without saying he
That document, that time, say that.
has much better lawyers. He can afford $3 million.
And you got.
In that contract where you won't read it's 27.
Law.
If your company does well,
Yes.
5 years from now, he owns 73%.
I didn't
You're
send
on
it to
for
him.
the house.
I told him I had to take, I didn't have time to write it yesterday, because I gotta be honest. So I just sent it today.
Oh my God.
And I didn't send it to Daniel. I said, want me to send it to Daniel?
So.
Like what that number actually is like. I have that number, but I talked to the tablet. They told me don't mention it.
Okay, so guess what? If I'm a lion, right?
Yeah.
Am I gonna tell a gazelle the best way to exit the jungle?
So I'm the gazelle.
Yeah.
Bang. I thought I was getting it right.
Hey, darling.
I'm the best. And I want my best.
What's your legs hurting from your workout?
You look so good. Black selected target.
Have you seen the girl? It's like this girl, she was and like had it broken up, got it twice. And like collaborated. Cause I got like some black t-shirts. I wonder is that her? Like with the black girl faces on it? No. But it's like she's like I got so much stuff. What's Target though? No, it's Target everywhere. But all this.
Great
Now that's bold, though.
Yeah, I just want to tell you, when I seen that, I said, oh.
Priced it right.
So
There is a
your
market.
email.
It's a DocuSign.
It will be for city. I felt like, look.
I have something there.
You have to.
Oh, I have seen her. Seen it. Like this is you can't on your phone. I mean, I got some bags. I'm already following her. I just didn't even realize she is her. Yeah, but and I saw recently it was like some new stuff dropped. Yeah, I see my Camp Street, and I said we started because my probably would have been. They out. I know they out because I go in there all the time and I ain't seen none of this stuff.
Yeah, no, it's sold out, like, it's sold out, you don't need Daniel at all for this, but I can't.
Your first
I
customer,
don't need yours.
fade around,
And then she don't target.
get a $2.8 million contract with them too.
So that's what, when it dropped and stuff, I want to try.
With customers.
Oh, well, you had, well, you had it, I took it to my card and I was like, that.
So 90%.
You know,
I'm pushing it. Like, I'm not, I'm using it as an example.
I get it.
But it's like,
I have another office that
I got money, if you got money, I get worship.
She's talking about me for real.
You get worship. And so think of when you were growing up, if you were.
When I have to get on the computer and like, oh,
That's
They know the name.
yeah.
But if you have some cool shit.
Fear and love.
Who is he?
Fear and love.
Right, and so,
Okay.
and if you don't have anything to bring to them, don't make up shit.
And I
Tell
have.
them exactly who you are, what you are.
I say here.
Real, 100% real. I guarantee they'll remember you more than somebody's trying to pitch an idea.
It's already there. Our generation.
Right, you think like.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I thought you meant this, I'm sorry, I thought you meant the DocuSign.
Gotcha.
So then that's
I
gonna
guarantee
fire
you,
it.
especially if you don't need $2 million.
I don't. I need capital availability.
Have to send it in the
Bro, I
contract
doubt
so
you
that
need that right now. If you don't have MVP.
Wow.
But okay, now that's where I get stuck.
Yeah.
Because without the MVP, I'm not employed by the company. So I'm like, I'm backyard and entrepreneur. And it's like, no, I want to like, if I could get a little like start, it would make more sense.
All right, can you, do these gentlemen know you?
I'm familiar with my man right here, but I don't.
Like through here, like you do
Yeah.
know him?
Oh, no, we just met.
Tell them what your company does.
Okay, you want me to send it for them to sign it or just?
and it's entry points, and that is. Cause it's different. Right now, it puts top storage areas on your phone, which is a higher phone email. There's no ad revenue. Because no one builds an environment. Instagram builds an environment for your pictures, so they collect.
It's like,
I need to do what I'm doing is allow
okay, I do want to send the east side or the.
percentage, because that's what the affiliate thing. That's simple. So use UPS as an example. Okay, come to us. Whatever 11% they were gonna pay somebody on top of that, give it to the user that shared this ad. Because in your let's say your post, you said who you were shipping to. You already got that information. You got UPS at the bottom. No, that's a lot.
So that's what I'm saying.
Dang.
I will tell you as a friend, like, you're not ready for venture capital.
Okay.
Like, I guarantee my man doesn't know what you're after.
Yeah, I just realized I was going
And I
like.
guarantee all of, like you mentioned before, what's your name? Market. Market? Yeah. They don't know what the fuck it does.
Yeah.
Like, all of what you just said, I'm still like, lost. What? And unless you can give me a tangible example of how this thing makes my world better, it's no shame in not being ready, because how the fuck would you be ready?
Yeah, I know.
Condemnation, like you were.
No, I appreciate
I'm
this.
saying, bro, let us be comfortable in knowing that there's a starting point for every company. And you can't skip the goddamn step. And the other biggest piece gotta be taxes. That was
He's saying even beyond that, I'm not even ready for the elevator conversation.
no, right.
Guys, this is like,
My job, I told them, I paid them.
about your keyboard, you have no right now. What's your keyboard?
Like, we're gonna honor, like, I want to have,
What one that you got?
Well, let me ask you this. When I think of keyboard, I think of that thing over there.
Exactly.
Are you saying something different than that?
Exactly. In your phone.
Like a virtual keyboard.
No, I get that, but I'm saying, like,
What makes it
I'm saying
different?
this kind of tongue in cheek.
Yeah, exactly.
And that for the average user, because everybody makes their money on who? Not the 1% that understands what the hell you're talking about with high level UX, UI information. Facebook makes money. Does it make
I will
money?
send it to Daniel.
No. Facebook makes money on the regular ass dude that eats waffles. To see the ad for waffles and he goes and buys
Right.
waffles.
Ad
That's who
revenue.
they make their money from.
Right.
And so, you know, with tech folks, one of the biggest challenges why tech companies hire salespeople. Because the tech people can't sell. Absolutely, because they say keyboard, and for the average Joe, I'm thinking keyboard.
You immediately went there like,
Or like when I send a text, there's a keyboard. You know it to be something different, but
Yeah.
if he is the customer, if you want to sell 30 million units, then you gotta be able to talk to the person who's in that 30 million, and it is not
the people in the
CTO
boardroom. Yeah.
of the company.
You gotta
There
sell
are
it
only,
first.
how many chief information officers are there on the planet? How many coders and developers? Very small subset. Only we're selling to them, we would not have a business.
I think that, well, I know that's what Rice for.
Yeah.
So that's why I said I need workforce funding. So then I hire a sales associate. I'm in the lab.
You anywhere, but that's what I'm saying, again, do not put the cart before the horse. You're talking to me about workforce. You don't even have something that's on revenue page. And this is how this should work here all the time, where we can at least love on each other enough to be like, look, bro, slow down.
Okay.
Because until you get your rock solid.
Yeah, I saw that too, yeah, so, but it was good, yeah, so like, we're gonna, I'm gonna have a kick-off back meeting with them.
Talking about workforce, talking about millions of dollars. That you need.
Yeah,
You can explain to the brother in Lake terms who doesn't know you.
You know what I'm saying? Because I have to, like,
Because of what you do,
you're like, I know, young people, but
then
that's
our job, up to work with you to get there.
making sure that we're
Put you in
involved.
front of venture capitalists where they can be like,
Different at all. I was like,
you understand this, before you're pitching for money.
Something.
Talk to people that actually give money. So they can,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
right? And that's why boxing is hard. Boxers find other boxers that may not be champions, but they can, they'll find, if somebody doesn't have a good jaw, they're gonna find somebody out of the spot and kill somebody's jaw and have an incredible right. They gotta practice.
you know, like, all night.
And you gotta do that before you're fighting ready. And that's why folks scrimmage.
Yeah, they decide, you know, like, I should own that.
Prepare for the game, go play with the best, learn from the best, make mistakes. There's no downside to a mistake.
Yeah, moderating.
And then flow with all the confidence in the world. But then also you can go out by yourself. That's the whole point of what we're trying to do here. If you're trying to act like you're a solo entrepreneur, you're just gonna run out of here and raise $2.3 million to give away 17% of a company that doesn't
That was
exist.
one of those moments in my life where it's like,
Bring it all the way back. I got a vision to do like,
that's like, that was the best thing to like.
if you stay in that what, stranger walks up, you told him however many.
Oh,
things,
yeah, absolutely.
hopefully
So
one.
if you
I like
ready,
that. I just like it.
Like that.
I'm asking.
At that point, we're not ready to move.
He came to the brunch. I ended up giving, because it was a ticketed brunch. Okay. So it was like.
Yeah. So I remember figuring it out.
Yeah. I remember seeing it.
2022. Can I sell you another? I have a 2021 that I want to sell you. You want to buy it? Yeah. What? Thank you. Even if I'm the greatest salesperson in the world, it's no value, right? Why would I spend my assets or credit to buy a car that I already have that's 1 year older than mine?
No, and he like.
There's no value. And I don't give a shit how savvy I am as a salesperson. There's probably
But
no
like the president.
way that I can get him to buy that car.
My baby.
However, if I told him you could trade in your 2022 and get the new Elon Musk version of the 2027 model before it even comes out to the public, the exact same money that you put into your 2022, I'm done. Ready. Why? Elon got it. But that's the value. It's the all right. How much would you pay for a bottle of water?
When I got here, I was like, okay, what's the feeding? It was,
Going to the store.
it was like.
The most you pay for a bottle of water.
Smart water, probably about $4.
What would be the most that you pay for a bottle of water?
Don't have to hold.
Good, because that's kind of what I'm talking about. You were dying in the desert, and I had a bottle of water. And the only thing between you and death was the $100 in your pocket of this bottle of water that I have. You pay $100.
Absolutely.
Man, it's creating value, understanding the marketplace. If you don't
Artist nature. I didn't know who he was.
take those steps, or for you to ask enough questions, I don't doubt you're gonna ask enough questions. But
They had a.
where you get to the point where you're dangerous, you know it.
Okay.
And then you say to that guy who said, fuck you up about it, well, that's pretty serious. No. Wait, what? I'll take that 20%.
They on another level.
Yeah, I'm
RGB.
sure.
Motivate him to move.
Like that's like.
I can imagine. Even though you still gotta get.
Man, so, my bad, so I wanted to hear you.
Yeah.
My man Blake was first too, though.
No, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, my man, what's up, Blake? Bring out. Yeah, my man.
All good. It's all good. So my application is really non-traditional. I came in as
He worked with them.
yeah,
Okay.
so he is a
separates.
full person.
area.
And so Green is a company.
Come here, let's go.
State elementary.
Yeah.
Cluster. So whatever I submitted, it was approved. Y'all took me in, but I just need to know the next steps. So I just want to have a volunteer support.
Everything like, so at the time our president.
Right? Don't get tech, you know, the tech twins are here in Atlanta.
Okay.
And
So,
so,
I mean, there's
like,
a godfather there.
so dedicated, you know,
What you want to do is to have a small group where it's not curriculum based per se. But you gotta have your tech expert, we got the tech twins, we got. $100 black devs,
They picked
kind of
somebody.
like creating a sport or fraternity.
They didn't know they were winning money, so we gave them money.
wow.
And it was like, it was really, so I had, Harvey come down.
Yes.
It was like a bunch of like bosses that came, and so I knew all the time, like, yes.
Senior, have done well, have launched multiple apps and made real revenue. I got a.
Girl, when I.
But just bring that.
But I know I can.
Companies have one for retail,
Yeah, but I.
one for media and entertainment.
Marketing.
We'll have one, well, marketing is more of a skill.
And he, I was like, nah, that, I was like,
Marketing.
whatever I text you, I was like, nah, girl, like,
Services.
Yeah.
you know,
Gave them whatever they want. But again, you found it. Now we
I'm gonna
talk
just-
about
I'm gonna-
all of this. Your accountability.
Who should I be,
I will be
emailing?
Paul, but the trials will be, I think they're gonna be launched at the end of the month. And just jump in right there, brother. We're not getting in the way of that. We're not making it super formal. You don't have to fill out any form. You're in the tech space, you're in the tech space, you're in the tech space, and you're in the tech space. You're all gonna be a part of the tribe. And we'll meet, you may just meet any day. want the tribes to at least meet once a month. That's why we're gonna bring in the talent, like the Tech Twins in one area. The guy that's the number 2 at Tyler Perry Studios is gonna be doing media and entertainment, but they're gonna be the proctors. They're gonna be saying, we're gonna meet once a month. I wanna kick it on the 3rd Tuesday and just talk tech and open up your laptops and code. He's one of our chiefs in the tribe. He's gonna run construction and engineering. Yeah, man, so we're gonna make it happen. So I think everything that we're doing, especially saying you wanna come in and add value.
Right. I'm saying.
I think the tribes is the way for you to do it. Now, in the other spaces where there may be tech questions, et cetera, there's that, but I think the tribes is, you don't have to build anything.
So tech is not my specialty.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's more adult development, or it's mindset skills, growth mindset skills that.
Mhm.
And so, for example, if I'm an entrepreneur, right, mentally, you know, what can I do? And I see you have that kind of whole wellness piece there. Got the young lady you had that, so contribute into that piece as well, but also facilitate, you know, whatever else y'all need.
Yeah,
as
so
well
for
as,
Morgan Russell, it was actually Mr. Russell Britton. She was just here at Brady. I mean, she handles all of our wellness. So with that, plug in with her, but that's kind of how it works, right? Like, I've stolen the HBCU model. So it's literally like, if you see something you want to be a part of or contribute to, you could approach that person and say how I can help. Like for me, from my perspective, I'm not activated on the ground, so I want to point you in the direction that people are. It'll be Maury, it'll be Paul.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Bro, yeah,
Take
y'all go down to
care.
the
All right.
Oh, well, but
The question for you, when it comes to the tribes, is there gonna be like a Web3 type tribe?
it'll be in tech. So that tech will kind of be all encompassing. We got some really dope Web3 folks here.
Oh, wow.
So the Tech Twins are dope, but then my man downstairs, Dedrick Steve, he's in the Web3, and he's plugged in with Microsoft. He's got the company Subsume. See who else is in the Web3 space. But then also, brother, it's we have these connections to everybody else in the world too. So if it's not here, I doubt that there are many people in the region that we can't touch. So, or like the dude standing behind you, Courtney's plugged into the whole world. And so
I'm just kind of halfway ear hustling because a wonderful folks who can train.
yeah.
So they've already hit me, and there's an improving that in line with what you talk about tech centrically. Improving is a tech firm up in Alpharetta, and they want to have a direct connect with someone here for Code Launch 2023. That they want to partner with us.
Paul first, but
Okay.
Paul then
He
may
can
bring it off to somebody else.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. But yeah, so we'll cultivate it all.
Done.
Yeah.
I gotta jump on a call, Jen, but, do you have a question?
I'm here.
Sure. Oh, you can though. I didn't want to make it any more just absorbing it, you know?
I'll ask one question. I think it was a business, but,
Yeah.
as far as, right there, anything to help out with, hurricane. And then,
We working with, Jasmine Crow with Gooder.
Yeah.
We made a donation to her, kind of what she does.
right,
But here's the beautiful piece about like, well, if I have a dream, right? It is the way that I open the front door now is you're as a stakeholder, your app works the same way I find it, right? If I was on a college campus, just in the dorm said, we want to do something for X. Just came together and raised some money or put a whole lot of water together and got it shit down. And the university or college didn't have anything to do with it, right? I think that what I was saying the other night about why know that you're empowered as a stakeholder. That's why we call y'all stakeholders instead of like or cohorts or anything like that. If I see trash in the parking lot, I'm picking it up myself, right? Or if you're saying there's a need out there and I got all this connectivity to all my other stakeholders, I throw it up there in the Facebook group or on an email saying, hey, my name is so-and-so, this is my business, I just came on board. I want to see if we can ship 1,000 cases down to Florida to help people out with XYZ. Who's with me? I see it, I'm like, bet, we're in for 100 cases. And then somebody else says, whatever. But that's how this thing should work. And so from an organization standpoint, we supported another organization. And, I think maybe it's not the best way to do things. And I'm open to suggestions. I don't need to celebrate it if it's the right thing. So I didn't need a social media post to say, here's our check to Jasmine for $1,000 to give water to so-and-so. I don't need that. We wanted to give, so we gave. or it's going to people that need it. But if you wanted to say, hey, let's do something big and let's stand in front of those water cases and send them down to Florida wherever there needs to be help, why the fuck not? Like, you're just as empowered as anybody else in this network, be it me as CEO, anybody that's sitting at a table where the employee W-2 from the Russell Center, you are a stakeholder. I want you to lean into that thing.
I just want to find out from the first standpoint, that's all.
Oh, yeah, bro, but that's a good point, because I do want to start to, I still want to drive that home to our member base. Because, and of course, like, you're in the early stages of the journey, so of course it's right, ask permission and everything else. I want it to be where you get so comfortable that this is your space. We're building it for the three of y'all and everybody around you and beyond. So guess what? Y'all, we really should do something for the folks down in Florida. Bet. You in for a case?
I am.
You in for a case? She's in for a case. Next thing you know, we got cases going out. And we're solving the problem. But we didn't have to come from a formalized asking, because that's not how community works. Community works in the way where, have you ever heard the story of Stone Soup? I've heard earlier. So, man walks into a town, he's got a backpack, he's got some rocks in it, he's got a staff, and he's hungry. So he goes in the middle of town square, starts to boil some water, throw some stones in it, starts to stir it up. Guy walks by and it's like, what are you doing, bro? He's like, oh, I'm making some stone soup. Well, that doesn't look once like soup, it just looks like some rocks and water. I said, well, I don't have much else, sir, so I'm gonna do what I can, what I have. Well, you can't have soup without some celery. I don't need celery. So I go and grab some celery, some talk celery. I have some for you. Same thing happened with another lady. She says the same thing. Can't have soup without potatoes. So guess what? I don't have any potatoes. Well, I got a few other things. So literally this starts to happen all over the town. By the time the 20 or 30 people pass by, they got a full cauldron of beautiful soup everybody can eat. But it didn't come from the mayor of the town. It literally came from people having a little bit that they had and casting it into the collective. And if we have that model here, that we will never be the ultimate curriculum. But where'd you go? Did you go to college? No. You go to college? Where'd you go? Morehouse. Morehouse in Kansas. We're well educated, brother. Let's talk about Morehouse, right? So using him as the example of Morehouse. How long ago did you graduate from Morehouse? So I asked you now to talk for 2 minutes about Morehouse. My guess would be things that were most dear to things you talk about have nothing to do with class. If it was a class, it's probably because you met a certain professor that changed your life. That's what syllabus and not the textbook. And so if we live under that kind of umbrella of you spend all this money at Morehouse to go and graduate, scholarship or not, the funds that it requires to actually graduate or matriculate. Same thing at Columbia, let's stay at Morehouse. Literally the things that change your life, the friends that you made, the things that are most lasting about you now being a Morehouse man had nothing to do with the textbook. I'm saying the same thing here. We can get really good at curriculum, but my hope is for the growth of this space that we are looking through curriculum. And so that's why I get out of the way. I don't have to speak at everything. I have to be at everywhere because it's about Paul. It's about you asking questions and owning your own space in here. Maybe you do. What's your business? Commercial real estate development. Have you talked to Chris Hale yet?
No, I just started. I haven't spoken to anybody.
Yeah,
I got my friends and I got all that stuff I'm working on. So
you and Chris working on the same thing. I'm in the development space and I'm going to do painters out of some property, But that's the thing, though, right? Chris is my EA that's exiting out to start her own, maybe run her own business. That's a beautiful thing about it.
That's awesome.
But like the tribe, like there's going to be a construction, engineering, and development tribe, right? But you're going to be around folks from that H.J. Russell and Company, Dallas Smith and Company, all these folks that are kings in the industry. And so whatever questions you have, you're good. I mean, you're going to be in a tribe and you're going to be able to ask. But that's it though, bro. Like literally using your Morehouse experience, creating that experience for entrepreneurs, but it's not just for 4 years. And so I gotta run and jump on the call, but it is. Hello.
Man,
Well, man.
man, appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I got. I'll present, man. Yeah. Yeah.
So, I'm not gonna
All right, so Web3, with the Web3 team, the first thing to pick to be all rights members. When we all come together, and what we do is we provide our database, we create that first Web3 interaction with the tribe. So we just start with the tribe. Pick your user interface. Technology, and I feel like that for all the companies having a Web3 offering should be presenting to us first. But we need to start with the stable coin. And make it out of it. Cool. Chris Hell, huh? We need to connect with Chris Hell.
Why not? What did you learn?
A lot. Hey, how we doing? Hey, how's it going? Oh. Oh, you got that player for How you doing?
Hey, y'all.
Good, good.
How you doing? Yes,
Aren't you Miss Freedom?
yes. Well,
Freedom.
pardon Miss Freedom, pardon Miss Freedom.
Congratulations, that's awesome. I heard about it like 2 years ago, and I was like, oh, like, that's good.
Yeah.
So what do you need up with, like, as far as the overall picture?
I'm not the leader of the organization, I'm just a builder on the project.
Gotcha.
So if you reach out to Ashley, she's a stakeholder here, so you'll see her again. She can tell you a little bit better.
Okay, this is what I'll do. I'll text you, and then you leave me there. All right, what's your number?
Yep, 470-812-1333.
Yeah, that's awesome. And your name?
Jessica.
Jessica.
Say hey, y'all.
Last name?
Lewis.
You on
Hey, good friend.
LinkedIn? Yeah.
Yes, same name.
All right, and this is Freedom.
You
Name
can
of it.
put Freedom, Georgia.
Freedom, Georgia. Is that the city? So did y'all actually get to like the city?
We're trying to get 600 more acres, and then we can create a new municipality and call it Freedom, Georgia.
And how much 600 acres cost? I'd like to know the last step.
Probably about $1 million. So we're working on that fundraising. Did you say what?
I know you don't go deep into that, but what y'all plan on marketing that to the users?
I mean, we're on everywhere. Y'all been on CNN and everything else, so.
You need that final user transaction.
Yeah.
Is there a minimum?
I think like maybe $2,000. That was the last conversation.
Are you allowing groups to do it, or you have to be in the business?
They can do groups. Bro, you want a piece of sausage or something?
600 acres, 1 million.
Maybe. Here.
For about 3,000 to 4,000 per, right?
Where are you going? Yes. You made a new friend. Okay. He's up next to you and eat with you, apparently. All right, you got your seat.
That's what it was in at first. You hear me?
That's where he was at earlier. You don't want sausage or you want sausage? No?
Something to have.
Go for it. He's looking for a fork, believe it or not. Well, he won't use the fork because when he sits in his chair, he puts the fork in a hole and it goes under the chair and it disappears. So,
Is that your nephew?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
So he's expecting a fork to go with his food.
Right.
Say, I'm a grown man. I need
I thought everybody was,
pencils.
everybody was, we're there.
Oh, yeah. He's like, he only 18 months, but he's like,
He's grown.
he's a soldier, baby.
That really does matter. I have a 2-year-old.
Yeah,
A
they
3-year-old.
grown, right?
She walk around like she made the world. I'm like, you got it.
All right, I'm like, well, maybe. I'm in the cold. Sir, that's not how you eat at the table. Like, sir, hey, I'm Susan. Hey, Susan, what's up, kid? I've already gotten a little cameo with the roast dinner. I saw you, I'm like, what? Okay, who is this energetic guy? All of them monsters.
I'm just like, I'm just happy because I'm.
How they go?
Not now.
What I did was, I watched Herman J. Russell.
Maybe you wanted to
And
walk.
I said, no, there's no way I'm here. Because like, I always try to change the world. Especially in the underdeserved community. So, she said, how did you end up here? So, I actually applied 3 years ago, 2018. I never got it.
No. What time is it?
Because I heard about it initially when it first happened, so I'm like, I need to find out more about this. And I'm, everything that I was building, I'm coming to yes finally, and I'm like, maybe I didn't get to the others. Yeah. So that's how, what did you do? You, take over the state?
Found one.
What are you, what are you?
Yes.
We're actually opening up a call. So like how you have.
Yeah,
So people can talk to us. I pray for whatever it is that they.
Thank you, sir.
Done. It's focused. So yeah, so that's how our stakeholders here. I have a construction. We have business outside. We have other business outside of that. I built stuff out of shipping. That's what me, you and him was talking about the other night. Where we were standing in front of the door, we were talking about all that. So we have that, and then we have a funding company. Sir, for the portal, he's just gonna look at him and just talk.
Yeah, 'cause they
He's like you. What's happening? He is out. And so I'm here. Try to help people. Help business get funding. For real estate development project. A little bit of everything. We help people get the money. Build. I heard you talk a little bit about it. You said you're transitioning. Okay.
They gonna have to have it. Hopefully nobody goes.
Oh, you're an airplane pilot. That's right. So you know what's funny? I almost had a job like working as a flight attendant is like my dream job. Next to working for the government, so I did that already. So I was a contractor for them. I said, all right, that's close enough. But I applied to be a flight attendant. Yes, baby. I actually applied to be a flight attendant. I got that in my head. So, right, I don't know how you had that. Okay. And, so I got all the way to the very last interview. You know, part of it, you have to show like you can lift, take stuff in and out. They saw it like that too. Yeah. But guess what? The fact that I got that car was major. So you're thinking of that. You know like that. Thank you. Have a nice day. Get your stuff.
So you know, good, how you?
They didn't like flyers. Okay. Want to get down?
So, yeah, I was like, let me.
How's Microsoft? How's it
It's good, I'm headed back over there now, I had to come back for this.
So,
They just
yeah, I got
had a fireside chat.
Yeah.
Now they doing a lunch.
I told y'all,
Yeah, it's good information. What I'm really trying to do is figure out how I can get them over here.
Okay.
They were open, they wanted to.
I'm sorry.
No, I was supposed to go, but I had.
So, yeah. I'm really sorry. I to go there.
So basically, if there's anything good.
Got this.
All right.
Thank
Thank you.
All right, no problem.
Have a good one.
Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you also. Get it, I feel.
not playing.
If I could fly for the rest of my life, I would prefer that. So I do want to talk to you because I want to get my pilot's license. I'm serious.
Hold on, over the $1,000.
I'm gonna take some of that stuff anyway, some stuff I'm moving up,
Now, let me know when you're not serious, because every time somebody talks to me, I'm always gonna think that you're always gonna be serious.
That's what's up.
trying to.
So I was excited when I heard you say you was a pilot because so here's the thing.
Yes.
He was telling you about Freedom, Georgia. a part of what we're doing is we're having.
Something about Macon?
Yeah, Toonsboro.
I remember this one yesterday
You
about
told me to the go.
Yeah, I
100
want.
acres and
Yeah.
50,000 or something and.
Counting.
And counting, is that the model, and counting?
It's funny that she just told me, she said, somebody here, cause they're in woman in agriculture.
Yeah.
And NIA, that, so they know about this thing and she was telling me, the lady's here, I'm like,
Yeah.
if I ever meet her, and just, that was last night.
I felt like you met her a couple days ago. If it wasn't at the meet and greet, was she at the, she wasn't at
I'm
one.
trying to be like,
I don't know if you met her at, I feel like you met her
however, you'll.
at another something.
Tomorrow.
You'll know if you see it.
I'm pretty sure, cause now
I
you're
have
telling
my
me,
phone, on my
how
phone.
funny did that? So she asked me last night,
Yeah.
you going to Russell today? I said, I think he might be there, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and then here.
So she did,
The chances of this, right, that is crazy.
I promise you.
Oh, look
I
at
will
you,
make sure-
boy, getting strong.
I promise I will make sure you at least see her then, because she's a stakeholder here too.
Oh, wow,
So you'll
great.
see her. So,
What did
Hey,
they?
what no more?
it was all,
Yeah.
you gotta move faster.
He's quick, yo. He's
No,
I didn't even know. I was almost about to say, when he didn't go down, he was good. He was like,
We can make that happen.
Upstairs like this.
But I don't.
He ain't dropped that
He
piece
cold.
about that time.
he cold. You know, earlier, you put him in like,
I
running,
didn't realize that, even a
he athletically,
mediation is not something.
I can see him,
Talking about.
you know,
But it's
bucket,
just-
is that the
Great.
sport y'all think?
I think you should bring it, because there seems to be a lot of interest about,
He actually lives with me. Like, he is
I
like.
think that it'd be a great,
All him.
yeah, so getting one town aviation club,
Right?
that's never really.
And be like, this is
I'm
why
not
we
into
do this, so we can build up the next generation. We got the next leadership. All right, so let's get that. Okay.
Alright, you better remember.
No, I'm gonna get it right.
I ain't gonna remember, my phone downstairs, I ain't got nothing recorded with, look, he about to run after you.
Ain't counting, what's good, bro?
Look, he happy, he got space to run around.
That's all he wanted. He like, yo, y'all got me sitting down.
I know. He turned up. It's so big.
This is the one you need.
That's big.
Look, look.
Get up,
Like,
I'm
look at
up.
this. He could make this right here on himself. All this is, I like that. So, all right, anyway. And count, okay.
Or how to.
Got for that, and I'll send it to you, so that way we can start a market.
Cairo, can you bring this here? How you kicking us out the room, Cairo?
Ready reserve? Yeah, ready reserve, yeah.
All right, Mr. Sir, Mr. Sir.
Cairo.
What's your name, buddy?
Cairo.
What's your name?
Ian County.
And counting. What do you mean by that, Miss Freedom Georgia herself?
Listen, we want to do legacy building, like, we gotta make sure.
That is that?
Create.
Hold on. We're gonna get the audio, because when you're doing the video, that's what makes, the only thing that makes the video not sound right is the audio. All right, so hold this.
Know how to take
If y'all 600 acres, then let's get it. All right.
Go ahead, do your thing.
No. Matter of fact, set this up and capture that.
Okay, so yeah,
Ian County. That's your nickname.
All right, so right in front of there, I'll tell you where you good. Come right here. All right.
You want more food?
Nah, that's the dope thing about it. Like,
Look, he don't even care.
he like forget all that.
He's rocking out with his socks out. No. Come here. Bye-bye.
only thing that'll be added on here is like the.
On the top, come. Hey. Don't even know who that is. Trying to drink.
And everything we do, we try to do it in story mode. That's how people see it.
Here, take this off.
So as long as you have her in between the thing, good.
That's good. Swallow it before you start running.
Well, for the most part, it is,
There you go.
All right.
Yep.
Come here, Tyra. It's showtime.
Okay, the very first thing I said was,
So this is the future.
Yes.
And counting Cairo. Cairo is our legacy builder. So when you become a mother and you procreate with a wonderful man or opposite way, man to a woman, you come up with legacy. It's called encounter.
so I guess,
We gotta keep
however y'all,
creating and pushing our legacy forward through our youth. So make sure you go out and find somebody great to procreate with so that you can carry on your legacy. Your DNA is wonderful. It needs to be passed on. Right here. Shout out to Kyra.
All right, now we do it.
Recording.
Yeah, it's still recording.
Okay.
Yep, it's not on top. All right, so let's come right here and then let's get you talking about what your,
I literally,
he's the intro. He's like, look, we over here. He's like, look.
Like, what else do I need?
He came ready.
His mom probably like, where they at?
Oh, dude. No, it's transfer. So even though he can't talk it and stuff, he probably can't.
Forget about me, did you?
the decal, yes, that's downstairs.
All right.
You need the decal sticker?
We're downstairs. I gotta.
Yeah, just talk about your vibe, talk about your interview.
Listen, Freedom, Georgia is sure there's no safe place, but I can't, Black and brown folks, they have to sit down there though. Loved on,
I have to sit down because I think
somebody
somebody else.
greatness, but more importantly, Freedom, Georgia is a place for us to share our legacy.
I'm programming
And that's in counting earlier, and so now as we're growing Freedom, Georgia, our goal is to now pass that on to our young people, our children, our grandchildren, anybody, our but Freedom, Georgia is the place to be, for you to be you.
We just.
Grounded you. Okay, y'all, come on down to Georgia. We love you, and we look forward to meeting you all. But you are having.
So hold this. And I'm gonna say something on every stage of it.
Okay.
Let us do the music, where you say not. I like the part that we do the part.
Okay, well, I'll be there probably about an hour.
Yeah. So you go to over like this, and well, let's get another scene, because we got over there, we got over here. We got rice.
I'm about to say, we got,
They didn't advertise, they didn't pay for this longer.
cut it out.
The white screen might be good.
No, I'm telling you, excuse me, sir. It's not a toy. Good job. Great stuff. Great, you went there, okay? Quentin Davis. That's your name, Quentin Davis. I'm saying it a couple times.
Your whole program manager.
Y'all ready?
So what is
Freedom, Georgia.
I do.
Honestly, I heard about this story 2 years ago, and when I read it, it was astonishing. I never thought I would be able to beat that person. I met that person here at the Russell Innovation Center for Entrepreneurs, Rice 22, you already know, B group, but we don't classify unless we talk about our app. So anyway, this is the best opportunity known to the American society right now, all the undeserved economy that's coming in and the new ecosystem that's being created. I heard a great say, Dollar Vaughn, she said, look, I am the bag. So look, when we say you the bag, we're saying there's actual industries being created based on underdeserved communities. Don't be the one that hear about it or collect about it last. Own the land and count it. The goal is small. The goal is $1 million, right? You can come in 3,000 to 4,000 at a time. You can come in as a group. We highly suggest that you do it as a partnership. Go ahead and get your VC started. Go ahead and get your first asset. Let it be this land, and now you have leverage when you go in there with that. So, come on, man, freedom, man. If you ain't freedom, what you doing? You chained up? You locked up? What you doing?
Look it up with the hell.
Don't be locked up no more. And we're not just talking about jail. We're talking about just your mental, your ability. Let this be your first piece of land. If it's for y'all, 1 band, 2 band, 3 band. I'm talking y'all language here. Freedom, Georgia. Let's get it. Now get more people.
Oh, they got all that stuff. That's, I'm a builder. You talk to Ashley on here, all that
Oh,
stuff.
I need to see this.
Yeah. That was good.
Yeah,
Rara.
we need to be edited. Matter of fact, we got the podcast from in there.
I don't need to. Yeah, yeah. And, then.
Not a raw hour. Years. 5 years now. I got diagnosis after. Are you familiar with that? I had diagnosis after 2005. I did this surgery. Tomorrow morning. Okay, one and done. Okay, I did the surgery, good to go.
I'm glad I.
That's just the first one.
My next migraine.
But I know they're not, like, alive.
I have all that.
And being off the plane.
And I was too. All of the stories I heard, but that was one thing. I had a headache my entire, all the time.
That's the island.
Yeah. Yes, and put me on the program, got me into the doctor for my, that's stronger.
Yeah.
But while I was doing that,
I said, and counting one.
One of my meetings already.
EAC1 right there. And how you can build a user database with kids, when they come in, number them. So he's the first kid to join his community, but we know it's a real one. So when other kids, they post a video, my kid AC2, no, my kid AC2. Start that up. We'll talk about that.
Okay, oh, y'all was.
Nah, this, I think they're coming back. All right, Miss Freedom,
All right.
you cool with that name, right?
Yeah, that's not me though. You gotta, I'm not the CEO. That's Ashley Lamar. Remember, I'm just a builder on the project.
and the last,
Yes, ma'am, I text you already.
Okay. Everybody back. I know, I'm going to be there. I hope by the time.
no, there's something I can't get a new one, so like.
You have it down.
So maybe, no, I did not, because this is.
I mean, I still have problem with access, all that stuff, it's just my ID. I can't get a new one until I become active. What do you change? I'm not.
Okay. I mean, that's why when you come down,
I get back, so those took it on the cloud, you can still do that first.
Actually, so, when, okay, that's all. This year, I want to know. Go get two like that.
Like, we're out there in the universe.
Like, everybody doing anything.
Somebody asked me, God's business, I did ask me. I didn't listen that way, I just come, I'm like cheerleader now. My wife?
you gonna have to do that.
I don't want to be in. I'm a big cracker. I think it's so warm now. Oh,
I don't know.
Novels.
I don't have no time. Take it to the
That's what I'm getting right. Yeah.
I found a way to figure out. Real one. How they do it.
Fresh.
Yeah.
Everything else you already come out.
Oh, okay.
That's pressure the first half. So usually with Baker Station. Everything else, trying to protect America's Caribbean. Yeah, I'm towards that direction. Skill.
Are people still, yeah, I was good. And I was trying to, yeah, I was, are people still at the innovation lab out there? I was like, I didn't want to. I want to go. They're coming up.
I came late. Yeah. That's right on time. I need help, so that'll be good. So, yeah.
Card. I just send that card to you.
Okay. I'm ready to get
Rob,
out.
you said when I get to that. What do you do?
Start calling your man, cause I could phone me.
Well, that's what he's always. He's like, he's a Tyler now. No, he's not.
You gotta get it when they're open. That's supposed to.
But I see how, like-
Card right now, but with ATM, what you want, at your schedule, anytime you want it.
Like, wow.
This one, all those.
Look here, now you like, what, oh, yeah.
How do we call
I told myself I wasn't on
back and from? Yeah.
party.
Verily.
Here I am.
Yeah. That's, yeah.
I'm already, like, I know we're gonna.
Oh, look at this, Nicole Brown.
Oh my God. Yeah, why am I doing it?
Oh, good. This is how I know. Right? Just ask and think. I like it.
You got one for your car? I think I did. You will remember it, so I could. Go to sleep. Party. I think. That's kind of like when we got,
Finishing, working on my, my private banking.
like, and they were extra.
Working on
And
getting
they
that.
have everything going on.
So I
I'm gonna have cameras like
they started.
platform. That's what I'm.
Yeah, I'm not listening.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Man, it was doing something. See, you can't get it. Work. All right. I believe that technology. It did work. Oh, it worked. You can find all the technology you need. You or anybody in the organization, new tech, like software.
And I was like,
Yeah.
done that, like.
But they're gonna differentiate.
Yeah, I mean, we started back, so, but all the rest of it, really, you already know about.
Oh, they're gonna rush it. Like, I'm gonna take care of my mom and my daddy.
Really?
Not really. I mean, you are.
I just, usually I get my mom, like, I take home vacations. So it's not a bad.
No.
My kids.
But that's what I have in I can't be.
I'm not sure you are.
Which one is that?
The label. There.
I'm really trying to get those October 19th.
Jenny's a boy.
Show you
His
what's.
daughter is probably.
Yeah, you get to see everything.
But he loves his mom. They love it.
You wanna try to put
Yeah, let's.
Oh, yeah, we did a meeting tomorrow, yeah. Or it was.
His daughter.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, everybody.
How old is his?
I know.
You're actually, it looks different, but,
We're like,
yeah, you gotta make the point.
all of our. Okay. I'll get it free. I'll for free. I'll do it for 5. I think whenever, I'm happy to get there. I think you go.
She didn't even ask me.
That gives us another. Sure.
Right, work out the kids. My email. Oh, no, they asked about. I'm afraid. Shall I?
Yes. Little by little. Little by little.
All right. I'm afraid they forgot to email them. Very right, it's fine. Lack, you? Like I did I like?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna tell you. I should little something, remind me I'm African. Little something, Where'd you go? No, we're good. Yeah, where? She got her office there. I don't know. That's what she did. That's what out here. Was this Ibrahim? So he ain't even here no more. And I saw his car out there and I was like, nobody's out of track. I'm just letting you know. To the top. So I'm like, I ain't hear none of that because that's your son that had that shoe. I was good.
Perfect.
So he do. Okay, all right, I'll go see if I can find it.
My name is Ashley.
I own 500 acres of black owned land, so I serve Central Georgia and Borough.
Yeah.
Oh, your name, I just. What is it? He's around here somewhere.
I'm around here somewhere.
My wife was telling me about. I think the lady is here.
After.
I'm coming in today. I'll talk to her. You're in a woman in agriculture. And I am here.
Who's your wife?
The Marine.
I don't remember. I'm bad with names.
I'm gonna
I'm gonna go, I'm gonna
The
try.
Marine.
I do, of course, I know Miss Marie. Very well.
Miss Marie.
Yes, we be here on Thursday. Yeah.
I was actually just harvesting them with Miss Marie yesterday.
Well, them was there.
Zip was there, what time?
Rockville County, someone? We
No, I was there, it was in midnight. I was saying what time, because we had waiting. I came in the morning time.
She was there. Don't even pick her up. But they were there all day.
Oh, so I didn't figure out what your wife looked like.
Yeah, I got a picture.
Yeah.
Plain one.
No mind, 'cause
No,
like,
no,
I was
no.
hanging out with them all day.
Yesterday.
And I was working.
Just send me
It
pictures
was
from-
very meditative. Yeah, that's your wife.
Yeah.
Oh, nice to meet you. That
She
is
came
your
with
wife.
smiling like that.
Yes, we did. Hallelujah. Yes, it's so meditative. I was out there, it was like.
How long did y'all stay?
I was there until I had to go get my.
No,
No.
we was just in the field
No.
harvesting.
I called his mama and said, she raised this.
Everybody-
Cleaned up the kitchen, swept the floor. That's Coach Harris. And what?
I got it.
The Oklahoma herb. Yeah, yeah.
I don't think it's him when he rolled you.
It probably not, no. It probably had the full spectrum. We call it full spectrum cannabis.
Well, I mean, it's no good about that. Fuck my leave.
Small world. I was in a big.
It's, we connected.
It's an answer. She did the name.
So our goal,
Your need.
well, well, right now, our biggest need is capital, as always. We just sold the first, and actually, that's not our biggest need. I actually have a lot. I need you to buy a lot. Because one of the cooperatives pulled out because they want to buy some acres in the Bay. Somebody's giving them the price. So they're still buying one of our lots.
The Bay Area.
Yeah, the parable of the sower. So like we're real heavy on like cooperatives, communities. So like we're starting a community farm. We're all about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals.
I know.
And so we want to have a pilot vision for that to show how equity really works in a place, particularly in municipalities. So our goal is to do what O.W. Gurley did with Floyd McKissick wanted to do with Soul City, which is a black-owned city around.
What is the old city?
A lot of people don't know about Soul City because it fell. So, Floyd McKissick, got money from the HUD department to build, he had about 300 acres in North Carolina, right outside of, I'm gonna lie, I don't wanna say we're outside of, but it was in North Carolina. And, he had a hate that said that it was discrimination and they pulled the plug on the fund. It wasn't able to actually. I need somebody that does like has. But in any case, we're gonna make it work because we don't need HUD funds. We got enough black people with enough money for us to build our own stuff. We don't need- I need for us to get the rest of the land surveyed out, because it's 404 acres of land. I need to buy another 700 acres of land, connect with 2 parcels of land. I also need, governance, environmental, social. Yeah. ESG. The land is they're asking 1.3 million, but that's high. I think I'm a real estate agent, I can get it. And then we gotta do this, that's as I say, and we need to pay for the survey.
They want to hide it. Kind of block it.
No, it's just like they saw that the real estate market, and then I sold my land, I sold my land for 9 times what we paid for it, so it's my fault. Like I bought the land, I sold the land.
I heard my favorite word.
No, they just, right, talking about freedom.
I want it.
Jackie,
I'm putting it.
that's what we talking about, because everybody like, what you need?
I have a,
You got interest stuff now. You gotta break the ice. What you think?
another partner, colleague, somebody I've been introduced to, that has one of the few to work on CBD.
Talk CBD.
And
What's her
it's a guy,
It's a guy.
his name is Eric.
Okay.
He's been in New York, so he's been able to be in, but he's back now.
They're both, I like the location. You're right.
Oh, thank you.
Shit, I know I'm cute. I always.
How many acres? That's what I'm trying to find out. He needs a warehouse? And I.
That's right.
4 to 5.
Where you wanna be at though?
Be a little bit out.
He's prepared.
Okay.
Aren't tired.
Time.
As far as.
Fish line.
There's still a lot of. I mean, even though it's not weed. I think you go THC free. CBD or they don't have those kind of things. Focus.
He only needs 4 acres. 4?
$150.
Because y'all got 500, right?
I'd be like, yeah, he was 6 acres right now, you get that, but.
Okay, but let me, talk to him.
I will send.
I would
And
love
where
to bring
is
him because
where
he's
exactly
very
is freedom? What
It's
Eva.
USIS and they're back.
Already.
We got all their social. Sorry, our farm, so
We gotta have like a profile with them or no?
they actually already what we got going.
I like
We already know about.
And I.
It just depends on how you.
All you gotta do, you're in. I just need you to say, text me real quick.
I'm about to make them, but what are the profiles we have?
I'm gonna text him, we can set a meeting.
That'd be something.
Yeah.
We talking about that video we did for the intro. But you know, actually,
I get you four.
Now, in optics, you're.
I'm talking about,
Oh, yeah.
I really think that could be.
How fast you trying to do it? Like, I had one lot left. I'm serious about that. Like, the one lady pulled out and then I just happened to have a lot.
Okay, let me check in.
Help is great. I'm out there immediately. And I saw something. That's one of the main reasons we were interested in him.
I'm trying to.
Nah, we don't.
He's doing verbal farm.
I don't know if I can vote. He's the one who understands all of that. I understand the sales process on that end, so I need to.
And I
Capital. Company.
and if that don't work, I can probably. I mean, it's freaky. It's already doing it, right? So I would.
That would be all. I am trying, what I'm actually looking real estate. Product. No, real estate product.
Like
Green,
Yeah.
green, hemp, wood, textile. That's.
So we
just.
I'm actually getting ready to have a meeting on Friday. The side already done.
Okay, I would love.
So what we're talking about doing is manufacturing. Probably.
Okay, I wanna, yeah, put me
We don't
on.
talk about building her hemp house is prototype.
I'm the main reason I'm not.
I'll meet you.
But I'm meeting with somebody who says they may potentially get there's lots of these people that does and I need to feel.
That's not the first time I've heard that.
Some go.
And then I let like purple.
Yeah, I'm about to go check him right now.
Tell me how to develop.
all the way out the way. Maybe.
We're like.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna call you.
I know how to do it, right? He didn't have like.
Listen, probably like. Well, what? But I did tell her, but.
Okay.
Okay. Stop it. Now, okay.
Hi again, girl.
No.
Oh.
I know that, go into your settings and click the.
I gave it to her, but she probably, I'm right in the court.
Okay, okay. She in here, I'm calling the them.
Like American.
Okay.
Jessica. Yeah. Oh, he actually did that myself. So I'm gonna do a quick sweep to take my car is parked under the trees by the shade. Okay. Mhm. I'm gonna see if I can find Jessica, but I'm getting out of here. All right, I'll see you later. All right. Coming tonight? Oh, maybe. My husband is tired of me being gone. Okay. Y'all do it yourself?
Yeah. I blew up back outside.
Okay. Well,
All right.
that was fine, right? Are you gonna be here later this evening?
Probably not now.
Look, I got a city going right now.
I feel the most of that. Work on that.
Yes. You said you feel? That's why I'm building it from the ground up, so you ain't.
Oh, you
Brand new, like.
How far is it?
It's 2 hours away, because 45 minutes is closer to Macon, it looks like a major metro, but it's a lot of little, like. I'm doing. As I said, Sandra gonna be here, I'm like, I wanna come, I'm probably gonna come, but my husband actually come home. Probably to come. Like, I hear about
But this one's supposed to close.
Will probably not. Oh, please, you get it here. Uh-huh. Yeah, okay, yeah. Wanna hang out? I'll see you guys. How are you? That's fine, yeah. Want you to get back.
All right, so we'll be-
No rest. So they'll say, I don't know how you do. Yep. Yeah. Oh, fine.
Roy, what do you?
I had a fun on Wednesday. Okay. I need to topography surveys done. That's all. I gotta listen to things.
We're gonna get all that. I got you.
Okay.
Are you ready about that?
I was trying to get. I know,
Oh,
entrepreneur.
you gotta come every night, but what was fun?
Yeah, that's entrepreneur style, like. I love change. You're welcome. I'll see you later.
Oh. PD.
We're done? Okay. Yeah, we done. I'm gonna talk to this guy a little bit. And I'm heading. Who I'm talking to? I'm talking to, tell me your name again, sir.
Roy.
Roy.
Okay.
I got 10 minutes. My background?
5:30.
No, I actually started. That's not the name, he just
You
texted.
know what I'm saying? Tabby, you all right?
Have a whole, Ibrahim get here, I didn't do nothing, he just came.
Yeah. I got to be crazy, I have.
Do I have somebody do videography? Is that what you're trying to get the person for? Kind of, do that too. I'm gonna call you right now. So I have a lot of deals with my mom is graphics and marketing for them, like that. So I use that to learn everything. I bunch.
Oh, no.
We here. No rush at all. Let it happen. Okay.
No, what I'm saying,
Without a lot.
yeah.
You know, they wouldn't even want to, you know.
Hello. So, yeah, I feel like.
I'm like, we don't need it. Don't want to act.
Because I get 7:39. Right?
Yeah. Now that I do remember seeing. Always. Okay, so all the.
You game, man.
Get me through.
There you go.
So, entrepreneurship roadmap, Thursday we had the cycle. And the cycle is where we learning about each other.
But for like taxing,
All the stuff that you say we can have.
Yeah, but,
And all of our I know Thursday's the last day.
and so we'll talk about
Actually,
work started, but
like what you talking about doing at 9, we gonna be doing from 7 to 9. So that we can actually be like, okay, you need,
however,
you need SOP, you need, like, so we're actually working now. to go to the next level.
yeah, and has honeysuckle moon out here, get like a yellow, we'll see it now here, we have this front.
We know all the steps now. Personally, I work back up. I go like website, what I want to happen. Away my part on. I'm people. You told him about your right now. Okay. Yes, right here.
Yes, I love it, so come on, let me find off.
That's what the class works, like we're all talking about the global African community. They're black. A color of nation is done. We have to refer to ourselves as talking about these things so that nobody's left out, nobody's confused. So that's the stuff that we're doing.
gotta wait out.
All the passionate voice, that's the truth. Well, it's bad, especially now.
It's like, no, all kinfolk ain't kinfolk either.
But
I
it's
don't
like
care if you are black, not mean me well.
Yeah.
He is so well.
So that's the problem.
They don't play this.
Do a little bit of wrap up.
Crazy, right?
That's why.
Nobody would know.
He said when we were over at the other place, he was done.
Yeah. Valid point there, sir. We have to have the same language, because if we claiming the richest African in the world as part of our community,
He need to be helping us out.
then not only should he be helping us out, he has. He's like, I got blocks for y'all to build with. Like, that's the problem. We don't take advantage to a coordinated strategy of what we have at.
So he's a good guy.
But why don't we really need him when
Some-
we're the
some
richest culture, period? So if all we did was just damn shop with each other, we wouldn't need to worry about.
Oh, yeah, that's a strategy, you know what I mean, we can use.
Most of it's just access. Access to the information, access to cash.
What we do.
I did not, but I looked for it. Tell me more.
Sorry, I have, working on getting a specific platform for Black and brown people. Buy,
I don't know, they
trade.
Oh, you
Yeah.
I think that's all.
They look like.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says, after we let, he said goodbye to the other place.
Let's go.
Stream.
It sounds just like everybody else.
This is where you just trying to create a new marketplace.
I mean, I didn't know.
I'm a new ball. What is, what is happening? Like the network.
We black and all black.